All right, we'll call the meeting to order. 101. The town of Smoky Lake respectfully acknowledges that we are situated on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional lands of First Nation and Métis people. And we'll start with the adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions? Mary Ann?
I'd like to add one, if there's an agreement with council for closed session personnel, the ATIA section 22 subsection 1.
Yes. Evelyn?
I was actually gonna make it the same closed session item. Mine is about public works. Is yours, or is it a separate?
I doubt that they're the same.
Okay, that's why I'm asking, is
goldfish.
because, no, because in that case, I'd like to add a second item. I just didn't know if ours were in alignment. So, thank you.
Sorry, I didn't know how to answer that.
So 14.7, same 14.7 personnel, public works, and same.
14.7 for the person, 14.6, not sure.
Okay,
But, okay, if that's it, then I'll get a motion to adopt. Mel?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. And then we'll move to 3.1, June 23rd, 2025, regular council meeting minutes. Mary Ann?
I'd like to move to accept the June 23rd regular council meeting minutes as presented.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. 3.2, June 23rd, 2025, regular council meeting action list. Evelyn?
Yes, motion 551, 2025 does not appear in the action list.
Sorry, which motion?
551.
Do you know what it was?
I think.
Yes, it was the motion about pickleball on social media.
Yeah, to direct administration to reach out to Kathy and Roger.
About promoting the pickleball. If you look at the action list and the note sequential numbers, 551 is missing.
I have it. It's just missed.
Okay.
It's in progress.
Okay, so in that case, I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake adopt the June 23rd, 2025 regular council meeting action list with amendment for motion 551, 2025.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. 3.3, June 23rd, 2025, special meeting for the purpose of CAO recruitment meeting minutes. Mel?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of June 23rd, 2025 special council meeting.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And 3.4, July 2nd, 2022, to 2025 special meeting for the purpose of CEO recruitment meeting minutes. Mary Ann?
I move to accept the July 2nd, 2025 special meeting minutes for the purpose of the CAO recruitment.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Let's give everyone a quick minute. Oops.
I didn't realize that the 5 minutes was about this.
All right, We'll move on to our delegation, the town Smoky Lake Fire Chief. Yay, me. So we just want to present you with a card.
Aw.
And thank you very much for all
Thank you
your
guys.
service, 10 years.
For the flags.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you guys. Didn't have to, but.
Of course.
Coming in, Joan.
Take a few, just in case somebody's blinking back.
And then look over here.
Awesome, thank you.
You're all.
That's all you needed me for.
Glad you got dressed.
Yeah, look professional for a minute.
Alright. And then, do we have our next? Yeah.
She's confirmed, so but don't believe she's here yet.
Okay, is it safe to move on to the next? Or not safe, but appropriate. Okay. And I believe there are people online. Yeah. Hello, Dennis.
Yes, sir.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. We're a little bit early. I hope that's okay with you.
That's fine with me. Shouldn't take too much time.
Okay, you're really soft. You were good and then you kind of,
Quite used to it. Can you hear me if I just talk a little louder like this?
there you go. That's better, yeah. And then, if you like, we'll do a quick introduction of council. I'm not sure if we've all met prior. But my name's Amy and I'm the mayor of Smoky Lake, and then I'll move on to.
Good afternoon, Dennis. My name's Mary Ann.
Hi there, I'm Mel.
And I'm Evelyn Copes.
The last time I was there, I remember Dawn was there, Dawn Phillips. And we were in council. I honestly don't remember most of the other people who were there. The former public works guy was there as well. So
We,
here with Mary, yeah, the council.
Do you want us to introduce the admin or?
I think Crystal, you know Crystal? Yeah, and we have Carly, our secretary, and John, our new public works. I'm not sure if.
That was perfect.
And we also have Rochelle in the behind the scenes, or FCSS.
So, yeah, I was we just over our water loss study that we've done, started in 2023 and we wrapped it up in April. We had our branch manager, who was a pretty big spearhead on this, passed away in April, so it kind of threw a bit of a wrench into everything, but we'd had it pretty much finalized by then. So what we did was we started with looking at detailed account records to try and isolate any accounts that were reading like very low readings, to maybe identify any meters that were malfunctioning. And when we had done that, we found a half a dozen meters that were not working right that got replaced. And along with that, okay, hold on here. Shit. I'll just share my screen. Does everybody see that now? Or no?
Yeah, we can, it's just small.
Oh, okay. I'll just recap it. So we did that, and then we also brought in a leak detection contractor, Velocity, to do an acoustical survey of the town water system. What they do is it's a two-stage process. First, they put these sensors on all the valves that are very sensitive to vibrations and calibrated to the type of materials that are in the town's water system. And from that, they measure the vibrations, if there are any that they could detect, and use that with a cloud-based algorithm to actually pinpoint the locations between each sensor in terms of distance to isolate where leaks potentially could be. And when they did this survey, they found a couple. One was a leak that was fixed right away, confirmed. With the, I'm gonna back up here, sorry. Once they find all the leaks that they think are there, they go with more sensitive equipment and confirm them. So they had found two potential leak locations, one of which, when they did their second round of investigation, was confirmed. That was fixed right away. The other one turned out to seem to be a false positive. So from then on, we were monitoring the system, and the leakage that we measured what seemed to be consistently going down over time. So, which is a good thing. We started out around 20% as a number for leakage based on the summaries provided by the town. And as we went through those, and then the meters started getting replaced, and we checked out sprinkler systems and things like that, the losses consistently started down. We went through public works reporting about flushing and all that kind of stuff too, to rule out any non-billable use. And as of March, we had ended up below 10%, which is actually pretty good overall. Now, last year, I believe it was, your water reservoir was replaced. And there was also some piping that was replaced as well between the reservoir and the town. So with that, we suspect there could be more of savings there, simply because when we had been in consultation with Public Works early on in the project, they had indicated that there was a section of that pipe that was replaced that they thought could be leaking, but it was encased in concrete, so there was no real way to tell. So this is where we stand right now. We have about $16,000 left in our project budget yet. And I had talked to Crystal and to John there last week, and potentially we could run another round of analysis on some more on the billing summary and see if the replacement of the reservoir and that piping helped. But that would be best, I think, if we were to hold off until, I say, look at the end of September summary. And that should give us a bit of an indication that, because we need to have the reservoir running there for a couple months to iron out all the details. So that's where we are. Basically, our report is finished, but like I said, we could incorporate a bit more data here if that's what the town would like to do. So I'll turn that over to any questions you guys might have now.
Any questions?
Well, so I just wanted to be. Okay, well, it's good. It was under 10%, but so we have to wait, sorry, you said for the reporting the water reservoir after it's been on for a couple months yet? Just to make sure that we're not losing there?
Well, that's what I'd recommend, just to see if replacing the water reservoir actually makes an improvement.
Okay.
It's just that it just got put into service here, right? So it takes a bit of time for those numbers to percolate through, and we can see them in the data.
Yeah, and we should be able to tell even faster because now we have a meter on the leaving the reservoir where there wasn't one before. So not only going into the reservoir, but leaving out the reservoir. So we couldn't tell before if there was a loss in the reservoir.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. So I think we can incorporate that into our data as well. The Tamara was providing a spreadsheet that had all that data pretty handily summarized, so it's pretty quick for us to pull it in and pull it into our data and update our chart.
Okay, well, this is really good. I think we found a lot of water loss, so thank you.
By our estimation, I think we had saved, the difference, I think, is around $27,000 a year. That, would be saved.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, about $28,000 a year. From, what we've been able to isolate and your public works guys have been able to rectify.
Nice. Well, thank you for the summary, and we'll look forward to the next one in September, once things here are more stable with the water reservoir.
There's a couple things you can do if you chose to do it, and I could get you quotes for it and everything. One thing is, the hydrants weren't really checked for leaks, but the same company that did the acoustical survey can actually do hydrants as well to check if any of them are leaking. So that's one option. Another, which is a bit more pricey, is to, as you're doing CCTV footage, we can review it and see if there's any locations that look kind of suspect in terms of like water inflow into the pipe. That's yielded results. Like, we actually, when we started this report, this investigation, one of the things we saw was actually a CCTV video where somebody who knows who had, they'd actually plumbed like a water service into the sanitary sewer main, and it was literally just spewing out water. So obviously that got shut off immediately and fixed, but these kind of things do happen. So the other thing to watch for, I understand you're doing a curb top replacement program. You might find some of those services are just leaking at the curb top, and that might help as well. So these things are kind of like a needle in a haystack kind of a project. Some things you happen on by luck, some things you happen to catch with some analysis.
Okay, all right.
So that's where we're starting, is around 28,000 in savings.
Right. All right. Well, there doesn't seem to be any other questions.
Okay.
So you must have did a good job.
All right, thanks. Should I just let you do your meeting?
All right, thank you. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
But
Okay. I can't do the public hearing yet, and I don't see Patrice in, so I'm suggesting we move to 6.1 and start off with the administrative reports. Questions?
For Public Works, where are we at with the dog park?
I checked with, sorry, what's her name? Sorry. Irene said that, the contractor is busy. And he's, I don't know if she gave a timeline, did she?
So we're waiting on
Yeah,
the contractor from
contractor's schedule.
Evan.
We have the property off of 855 by the garbage bin and the short kit cut area. I noticed that the grass was cut, so I was wondering, did Public Works was doing this last year? Was it Public Works that cut it, or was that one of the neighbors?
Which location was this?
The location,
It was Public Works.
was it Public Works that cut? Okay,
Is that the one,
yeah, so, yeah, 50th Street, yes, at the Four Corners. And then there's that little shortcut road that cuts off Highway 855 into my neighborhood. So that, it's that weird little piece there where that's run by the neighbors, so that's why I'm asking, is because
we did cut that?
that it was Public Works, okay,
It's owned by somebody, but, a bylaw letter was sent.
okay, and that's what I wanted to verify.
And
Okay.
we ended up cutting it.
Cause it's in my, I monitor it all the time, that's why I'm asking. Evelyn? Another item for Public Works. I was with some committee members at the restaurant at the Smoky Lake Inn. And one of my fellow commission members got very upset because his expensive truck was parked in a pumpkin park. And we watched as one of the Public Works employees with a riding lawnmower was on the boulevard. And because of the power behind it, all the gravel and all the grass was shooting right at all of the cars that were parked inside. So it was just by fluke that we were sitting in a spot where we watched it happen, and somebody that I was having lunch with got very upset because it was his vehicle that was. So it's just a request that riding lawn, and it's a boulevard, so. Personally, in my point of view, I don't think a riding lawnmower should be up on the boulevard. Probably best if it was like a bagged push lawnmower, but the force of all of the gravel at the vehicles kind of created an issue.
Yeah, I'll speak to our employees.
Okay,
Rely
yeah,
on that.
so I'm not sure if there's some sort of protocol or what the training is, but all those vehicles got blasted.
Yeah, the idea is to mow it in the other direction, so as to not
Yeah,
direct to the vehicles.
Yeah.
So I'll speak to all of our
Okay.
employees and run.
so thank you very much.
No, I just have one thing. I don't know if you noticed, might be duplicating, going north on the Iron Horse Trail, right by the pumpkin park where the sidewalk is, we're missing a stop sign. The northbound one, we're just missing, somebody has clearly taken the little stop sign for the trail, so, yeah. The southbound one is there, but the northbound one is missing.
Thanks for letting us know.
I don't know, Reese.
If I can follow up on the Iron Horse Trail. So one of the areas, like the outhouse area, had the grass cut, but not where the bench is and where the garbage can is. Was that somebody else who did that, or was that Public Works that did that? No, Iron Horse Trail, sorry, I
So-
wasn't clear. You gotta go over the highway and heading toward.
South.
So.
They're heading toward Warspite by Casetna area.
It's west of 855.
Yeah, it's us, it's ours.
Take note of that.
Well, actually, it's a question, because one of the areas was looked after, the other two weren't, so I'm asking. Do you know if Public Works did that, or,
Well, I'll follow up on that. And I'll sure it's whoever is responsible for it.
okay, so you can't, you actually don't know the grass that was cut by the outhouse and like where the two signs about owls in the area and so on. You don't know if it was us that did that?
No.
Okay. And then one more, yeah, sorry, John's really good. And one more question, the new reservoir, I drove by and spoke, and the project manager saw me in my car and came over and chatted with me. I think his name's Steven. So Steven said that he would speak to you about council getting a tour of the new reservoir. Has he spoken to you about that yet?
Did mention that, but I would be happy to show you all of them. Now would be a better time because all their equipment is demobilized. perhaps in the next couple of weeks we can schedule some.
Okay, that would be good. Thank you very much.
And everything that is backfilled there, so. It would be a lot safer and I can give you a good tour.
Evelyn?
And then a question for admin, and this has to do with, where's a delegation for SEEP, the clean energy? It was gonna happen in June, wasn't it? There, I remember reading, and I'm thinking it's in one of the reports. Because this is an outstanding motion. We've got that SEEP on hold until somebody from SEEP can present to us, so.
When Dawn or previous CIO was here, she reached out to them. They were busy initiating something to do with CBIN and network or a new software or something, so she couldn't come. And then we're kind of just waiting to see if I can schedule when the new CIO is here.
Okay, so. All right, you're ready for the new CAO.
Marianne?
Yeah, so I just have I just have two things. One is a question, one is a comment. So in terms of the CN station, I would assume that we have staff and we're opened for the season. And I'm just looking for an update. There's some outstanding things that are not completed. So, in all fairness to admin or public works, I'm going to suggest we get a report for the next meeting, just to see where we are on the project. And I can make a motion if that's pleasing council for August 11th. And then the comment is thank you, Rochelle, to FCSS and your team. Canada Day was wonderful, and the look of joy on many people's faces. So a good time was had by all, young and old. So again, thank you for your efforts to put that together and have it successful.
Thank you very much. The team really appreciates that.
John?
The outstanding items for the CN will be completed this week. Picked up some nice looking chair rail as requested by Noreen to hang pictures on. So we'll be cutting that, clear coating it, hanging the pictures.
Thank you. Evelyn, you have a last comment?
Actually, Marianne,
Took care of it, okay. So, it's your,
So, okay, and
so I'll just accept, and then I know you're gonna make a subsequent.
right?
Okay. So I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake accept for information the administrative reports for June 19th to July 9th, 2025.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed, so carried, and then Marianne?
I'd like to move that Town of Smoky Lake Direct Administration to bring back a report on the CN station for the August 11th meeting to include the planned projects, the work schedule, staffing, and the upstairs cleanup. Just to update council, please.
You're good, Charlie? All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right. We'll move to 6.2, utilities report for May 2025, billing and tax report for June 2025. Mel?
My only question is I'm sure you have an update for me why it's 32% water loss.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Don?
So the new reservoir construction. We had to fill up the new tank twice. Once for a leak test and the other for shock chlorination to sanitize it. And actually a third time as well to fill it, to bring it into condition. So that's the reports, the water loss won't be accurate until the end of August. The control panel is going to be installed in the next week or so. And then after that, we'll be able to measure the water coming out of the reservoir. So we'll have a meter on the outlet. You just can't read the meter without the control panel in place. So the end of August, we should have an accurate reading of that.
Okay, no,
I just wanna say how happy I am that there's finally a meter going out of the reservoir. It has been 7.5 years of talking about this meter. So can't wait for your control panel and your meter. Very excited.
I knew you'd be excited.
Oh.
Water meter.
So happy about a water meter. Highlight of my day.
You wanna make?
I'd like to make the motion, if there's no other discussion, to accept the utility reports for May 2025, billing and tax record for June 2025.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. 6.3, development quarterly update. Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Marianne?
I'd like to move that the town of Smoky Lake accept for information the development officer quarterly report from April 16th, 2025 to July 3rd, 2025.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. 6.4, quarterly financial reports. Evelyn?
Okay. I'll make the motion. The town council, that the town of Smoky Lake accept the financial reports, the quarterly financial reports as presented.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. We'll move, we still have time for our public hearing, we'll move to 7.1. So if she hasn't come, then how do we just file for, like, not even information, but do we just leave it? Yeah. If that's not how it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to defer it maybe or? Defer it to next
I would
week?
rather not, because it's the second time she was supposed to. So we'll move to 7.2, delegation Dennis Schmidt, MPE, Water Loss City. Marianne?
I'd like to move that the town of Smoky Lake accept for information the presentation from Dennis Schmidt, project engineer MPE engineering regarding the water loss study project in the town of Smoky Lake as part of the Alberta Community Partnership Grant with the Village of Vilna.
Any discussion or else? No, we already had it. All in favor? Okay. None opposed, so carried. Sorry, I just,
You like the background?
yeah. Okay, 7.3, drive with happiness, food bank pilot. Michelle.
Yes, so I wanted to bring back the results from the 6-week pilot that we had undertook in partnership with the food bank and using Drive Happiness volunteers for that. Throughout that 6-week pilot, we delivered 1 basket to Vilna. So the data pool is minimal in regards to being able to measure the appetite for ongoing usage. And the food bank is closed during the summer, so Noreen and I were gonna connect during the summer, because what I do know is that come December and January, the usage of the food bank goes up. So it is very seasonal, so that could also impact. So I was going to meet with Noreen and look at sustainability wise, if we were able to not just have one person dedicated every Thursday to do deliveries, but do it as like an ad hoc where anybody at the food bank could call Drive Happiness, log it as a ride. And then if somebody is able to make that delivery, that they pick it up as a ride. So that's how they operate in other communities that are small and where it's minimal, because it's hard to have somebody staff every Thursday if we go 5 weeks without having a delivery. So the person that we did deliver for was exceptionally grateful, so I definitely see the need for it. However, at this point, I don't feel that I have enough data to be able to go to the other municipalities and say, hey, can we crunch off a specific budget for this? So I think it was a good pilot, but we need to then take where we're at now and then determine what does that next step look like.
Evelyn?
It also sounds like it's a time of year, like that's what you pointed out. So it was a good idea. you want to continue the pilot project, it's just that by the time you implement it was not the ideal. I mean,
I think that's a part of it. That's what Noreen and I
okay,
hypothesis is.
Yeah.
Because we had seen requests like higher in other months, and so then that's why we wanted to do the pilot, but then throughout the pilot, we only saw one request come in. So our hypothesis in talking about it was seasonality probably played into that. And so if we were looking at January or December, January, sorry, that we would probably see increased need because that's when the food bank peaks. So I will chat to her about it. I mean, ultimately, if it was a $10 budget every 6 weeks, I don't even know if at this point there would be enough of a business case to go to the other municipalities. So I think it would be, hey, maybe we look at this December and January and forecast what we think and then come back to this table for recommendation on where we should go from a budgeting perspective. Because that one delivery cost us $10, right? So but I don't want to underestimate the fact that it is deliveries going into the county and going into other municipalities. So I do get that as well. So I don't want to just be like, oh, it was minimal, so we'll just cover it under our budget. Because I recognize that that's not the right model. But at this point, it's hard to go and advocate for further budget until we can figure out a little bit more data or more modeling on how we get to a better number.
Well,
Do you think potentially, would there be a potential to do another pilot project then in a different time of year, just so we have something else to go by? Like this does sound like it's, I think it's a good idea. I think there's a need there, but how big is the need? Like,
And that's what I'm having a hard time gauging. It's interesting because we often hear like, oh, there's a really high need for mental health supports, but then the PCN social workers aren't busy. So at the end of the day, sometimes what we hear and then what lines up are, there's discrepancies in that. And so that's where I think going back to kind of what Councillor Copes was saying is seasonality has probably impacted this. So potentially maybe the path is let's run another pilot. And look at that, but I also wanted to be able to reconnect with Noreen and then come back with a more, like a stronger recommendation. Well, they're closed for the summer months and we have time to kind of sit and then revisit it and look at maybe some of the other data points that she can show me in regards to usage during the month we ran. Like, I think if we pick a percentage that said, this many people accessed in 6 weeks and one person got delivered, we know in December and January it increases by this, so then we could forecast this cliff, but does that make sense?
Evelyn?
and are you doing this more quietly, like for the people that are contacting Noreen, like the food bank about it, rather than doing, like we talk about social media here, so not promote things, so you actually don't want to promote it, you just want to be more
Absolutely.
quiet?
And it wasn't
Okay.
just, that was actually the food bank's recommendation.
Okay.
Was
Yeah.
that they wanted this as like a last resort because they were afraid if we were too front forward on it, that certain people may I don't want to say abuse the system, but
You wouldn't gather the data that you're looking for.
yeah,
Because
and
promoting
also,
it attracts what you're not trying to attract.
right.
Okay.
And she felt that potentially there would be some people that rely on that then on a monthly basis versus, you know, it being a stopgap and trying to help where we can. People might just rely on that as like an additional service. So I don't foresee, even if we go into another pilot, that would be something that they would recommend being front facing.
Evelyn?
I'll go ahead and make this motion, but I'm just clarifying, this is just for information, what the previous motion that we made leaves it open. So that what you're talking about doing this months from now, you can go ahead and do it, you don't need to come back to council. For, like the pilot project is just defer it in a way. until
Yes.
the months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake accept for information the report regarding the Drive Happiness Food Bank project in partnership with the Smoky Lake Food Bank, utilizing Drive Happiness volunteers to deliver food baskets to residents in the villages and county areas that ran from February 28th to April 11th, 2025, in reference to motion number 145-2025.
All in favor? And opposed and carried. And we'll move to 7.4, level 3 EV charger repairs. Mel?
I was just gonna go ahead and make a motion and we can have discussion. I was gonna make a motion for option one, that town of Smoky Lake fund the repair of the level 3 EV charger located at the Smoky Lake Fire Storage Building for a budget amount of $7,839 to be funded from general operating reserve and consider ongoing repair costs for future budget discussions.
Mel, go ahead first.
Yeah, the only comment I have is I think we have it. We should repair it. It's proven that it's a need, I would say, and it's also proven that it does have some economic benefits to the community, which is why we're here. So it is very unfortunate that it's cost this much money, but I think that we should, I also think that we should try and get some sort of, obviously do the best we can to get some sort of warranty out of the future. Can't, we can't, I get it, I know you're trying. But I think to our best of our ability, it is proven to be something that's needed in the community. So I am in favor of spending the money and going ahead and continuing with the project.
Evelyn?
I just want to put it, I'm happy to hear you say that because when you go to that app site, we are actually quite the popular destination for Lac La Biche, Cold Lake, and then I was at a St. Paul meeting where I suggested to the person not to come through here, but to go through Vegreville because I knew that it was acting up, and that was a bit of a bummer because I could have invited that person, that consultant back to town to do it. If anything, I would also like us to look into potentially putting a second one there as well. Just because anecdotally talking to a neighbor, asking her about what she observes, because she's right across the street, she said that she finds that it's extremely busy and that there are people that are lining up. So again, not only have we proven that that level 3 is well worth having there, but perhaps we should consider a second one as well, since and that is something, again, not out of our own pocket necessarily, but to apply for any kind of grants that are out there. And I do believe one of the, I remember seeing an email from one of the, I think it was the gentleman from Lac La Biche who had a whole list of grants that we could pursue to potentially get a second one.
John?
Some very relevant information I discovered afterwards, so the manufacturer of the level 3 charger that we have. There's a news story from 2024 that they're insolvent and they're purchased about 3 months later by a different company. So that just might be relevant information on going into the future.
Yeah.
To consider.
Yeah, I was wondering if there were other, for that. All right, call the question then. All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right, 7.5, demolition of derelict property located at 4204 454th Street. The hearing. Oh, yes, we can do this. Thank you. Oh. I'm so sorry. No. I remembered the after the first. I forgot. Okay, so we'll start with our public hearing. This is like the first time every time we're going to do this. So good afternoon. My name is Amy Trumpton, Mayor of Town of Smoky Lake, and will be the chair of the hearing today. On behalf of council, I'd like to welcome you here. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the counselors in attendance. We'll start with you, Evelyn.
Evelyn Coates.
And then I'll move. Marianne Prosky-Zerewski.
Melody Morton.
All right. Planning advice will be provided by Pam Lussier, the Town Development Officer. And I declare the public hearing open at 1:45. So the ground rules of the hearing and the order of speaking will be the interim CEO and the development officer will speak first to outline facts and present their recommendations on the proposed bylaw. Members of the public hearing who have signed in will be given the opportunity to speak in the order they sign in. Anyone else who did not sign will be given the opportunity to speak. The interim CEO and development officer will be given the opportunity to present closing remarks or address any of the issues presented. Councilors will be given the opportunity to ask questions. Council will then end the hearing and consider the information received at the public hearing. Only counselors may ask questions of speakers during the hearing. If any person wishes to ask questions of the speaker, they must ask counsel to ask the question on their behalf during their presentation, and counsel will only ask the question if counselors wish to have an answer. Council will consider the representation made regarding the bylaw and any other matter not council consider it appropriate. I would at this time ask the interim CEO to confirm this public hearing has been advertised and noticed has been provided in accordance with the application legislation.
Yes, it has, Ms. Chairperson. The public hearing notice for bylaw number 14-2025. Land use amendment advertised in the Redwater Review on July 2nd, July 9th, 2025.
I will ask the interim CAO and development officer to summarize the purpose of the hearing.
The purpose of bylaw number 14-2025 is to amend Thomas Monkey Lakes land use bylaw 007-018 by rezoning lot 19, block 6, plan 0721842, lot 20, block 6, plan 0721842, lot 12, block 7, plan 0721842, and lot 15, block 7, plan 0721842, from R3 residential high density district to R1 residential low density district. First reading of this bylaw was given on June 23rd.
All right, before hearing from the public, I asked the interim CEO to advise of any written submissions received.
No, there was no.
And I don't believe there are any.
Nobody said that.
Okay. All right, I will now, okay, do I have to go through asking people to come up? If there's no one here? Maybe? Okay, I will now call upon persons signed up on the sign-in sheet who are in support of the proposed bylaw. If there are any, there are none. So then I will now call upon persons signed up on the sign-in sheet who are opposed of the proposed bylaw. If there are none. Does the council have any questions or points of clarification? If not, is there anyone else who has not spoken and wish to speak?
Yes, I'd like some clarification on the lots. Can you put a map up on the TV screen so we know exactly which lot block and plan we're talking about? Is it by the hospital? Is it? Like, I have no idea lot block and plan like no Anderson. Can you clarify that for me, please? I know, but could you put a map up at a hearing normally?
Yeah. Did that map in the bylaws just there?
Or can you explain where it's at?
Yeah, it's by
bylaws.
Culver Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Culver Creek. She'll show you right away.
And you're going from R3 to R1 again?
Yes,
And what is the purpose of that?
they were sold.
Pardon me?
They were sold and want to be used as R1s, correct?
Yeah.
Not R3s. There they are. They're all up there.
It's the red ones.
That's the inside lots there up against. it.
2 inside, 2 outside.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, thank you very much.
welcome. At this time, do any members of council have any additional questions? Yeah. And being that there are no further presentations, I declare the public hearing closed at 1:49 PM. Thank you. Back to 7.5, demolition of derelict property located at 4204 54th Street.
If I could, Madam Chair, if I could just ask, because we just completed the hearing, and I know it could be somewhat time sensitive or not, but I'm wondering if we could just move to that portion of the agenda where we finish the readings of the bylaw, that the second and third reading, so that could maybe speed up the process for anything that our development officer might need to do.
Is that the only thing left for that's involved development option?
No, I had one more. With that one, in another bylaw later on.
Later on, okay. So that's what 9,
9.2, if there's a benefit to development or admin or council, just to get this fast track, because I believe it's been delayed quite a bit.
okay, 9.1 is also the other one? Yeah. Okay, well, let's just jump to 9.1 then. We'll finish with that, and I go last. That's it. Yep. Okay, 9.1 road closure bylaw number 16-2025 First Baptist Church. All right, so Evelyn,
So I'll make the motion and then we can open it up for any discussion. That the town of Smoky Lake give first reading to bylaw number 16-2025 road closure lane adjacent to east side of lot 1617 block 7, plan 8721656 and lot 18 block 7, plan 9220022 and schedule a public hearing at the August 11th, 2025 meeting.
So the discussion, I would assume, gathered what's presented to us, and thank you, Pam, for preparing that. And thank you, Pam, for bringing this forward. So I would assume then, based on the second paragraph in the background, that this was not done.
Yeah.
And is there a reason why it was not done by the former development officer, or we don't know? Can anyone speak to that, or an admin, or?
Nothing to add.
Evelyn?
Just when it comes to the bylaw that we're gonna approve today, just two edits. One is in the whereas this bylaw, and then capitalize the bylaw, because B, the capital B denotes that it's this particular bylaw. And then the words accepting, EXC, there's an extra C that's been added. This is on page 303.
What page are you on?
Page 303.
Are you aware of those?
I see.
You see them? Okay, all right, I'm gonna call the question then with the amended. Do you have to add the edits? They're all.
Yeah, so a friendly, well, do we do it? No, we can't,
No,
I can't
not
do that.
really.
No, because we just gave for, it's,
Yeah.
this is different.
It's
This
like
is
a
first
second
reading.
reading, it'll be.
It's two spelling errors and then just but
Yeah.
capitalization on the B because it denotes this bylaw, not a general bylaw, which would be a small one. So,
Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right, 9.2, bylaw 142025, land use bylaw amendment, second and third reading. Mel?
I'd like to make a motion, the town of Smoky Lake give second reading to bylaw number 14-2025 to amend land use bylaw 007-18, being the land use bylaw for the town of Smoky Lake to rezone lot 19, block 6, plan 0721842, lot 20, block 6, plan 0721842, lot 12, block 7, plan 0721842, lot 15, block 7, plan 0711842 from R3 residential high density district to R1 residential low density district.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Marianne?
I'd like to move that the town of Smoky Lake give third and final reading to bylaw number 14-2025 to amend land use bylaw 007-18, being the land use bylaw for the town of Smoky Lake to rezone lot 19, block 6, plan 0721842, lot 20, and block 6, plan 0721842, lot 12, block 7, plan 0721842, lot 15, block 7, plan 0721842 from R3 residential high density district to R1 residential low density district.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Okay.
Thank you.
Did you want to jump in with those?
Thank you. And thank you, Pam.
oh,
Yes.
and a friendly reminder at the notice, bottom of the notice of public hearing, it's no longer FOIP.
We have Beatrice.
Got it already? Okay.
Right. 7.5. Demolition of derelict property located at 4204 54th Street. John?
So. You can refer to the RFD for the details, but we believe that demolition of this building would create a more aesthetic lot and probably increase the odds of purchase.
No?
I agree with that statement. And yeah, I think that that's a good idea.
Marianne?
Yeah, I agree as well. I'm not sure in the RFD, it doesn't indicate the timeline that the fire department would like to have for the training exercises. And previous to seeing this RFD, last meeting, we had a quote included, so I was just wondering if we're looking at that as well.
John?
The fire department was contacted to provide a written request, which could provide more details on the nature and the timeline of their training exercises. I never received that, so I cannot speak to what their plans are for that. I believe she mentioned some kind of ventilation training, potentially. If you'd like, I can provide more information at a future meeting.
No?
We could do that, or we could give our own time frame as to when they would need to do this so we could get it cleaned up. I would say by late fall.
Evelyn?
So, yeah, I agree with that. The question I have about the quote at $8,500, and that's after it's been burned down, that it's gonna cost that much to clean up? Or you're saying this is,
They're not planning to burn it down. It'll just be like training exercises for like. Then they're like setting up a smoke machine, I think, and like kind of practicing like venting out the area, the building. Like I believe it's non-destructive training exercises.
it's not for, okay,
Not, it won't be any kind of fire in the building. I think it's more of a
Big
like a
smoke.
protocol exercise, protocol training and practicing ventilating out the building and. But I can't speak to too much of the details because I don't have a written request.
oh, the reason I'm asking is because when the volunteer fire chief told me that, because I was at Canada Day barbecue, she told me this was coming up. But she was saying that it was gonna be postponed until winter because of the snow and the safety factors and so on. So I was definitely given the impression that fire was going to be involved with this because I was simultaneously happy but disappointed because I love the double purpose of this building, that we can take it down and use it for this, but I was disappointed because I'd liked that building to come down ASAP rather than wait until the winter time. So I fully expected us to have a discussion about that today or that, and then even now with Deputy Mayor Prosky Zaruski asking about the timeline, that was exactly my question about this as well.
John?
I was under a different impression for the nature of the training. I can provide more information on that later.
No?
And
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Nothing, it's your motion. Why don't you just make a motion to defer this and for the fire chief to have give John the written report that he asked for.
Or written, what,
Request.
not written report.
It's a
but written
request.
request, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake defer this to a future meeting and to include the written request from the volunteer fire chief.
John?
Sorry, is that a motion?
Yeah, that's the motion that I'm making, unless somebody wants to make a friendly amendment to
I
that.
just told you it was you, it was her though. That's why I was laughing. That's perfect. Yeah.
Sorry, okay, but I can take that back.
No, that's perfect. That's good.
So just for clarity, you want to the nature of the training and timeline?
Yeah, there's nothing description, and as you, we now have all anecdotes and we're all debating something that we have no answers to. So this can easily wait for 1 more month so that we can have all of that information first. Because that would answer the, what, sorry.
Marianne?
Yeah, and it's, if you would accept it from the amendment, and so it's to defer it to the August 11th meeting. With the quote. That we'd like to review the quote, because it's not sure if it's just for that parcel, for the entire parcel of land, or just the demo of that building, or what we're cleaning up.
Okay, and I accept that friendly amendment, because I forgot about the 12. Okay. Did you get that, Carly, or should we ask you to?
No.
read that? Okay, good.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. 7.6, update on outstanding sidewalk projects. Mel?
I have so many things. So, the library, I think we should just go ahead and do it. It is the cause of the water going into the library. But the only thing is the sidewalks aren't in horrible shape. Is there a way of jacking them up so they're deflecting away from the building? We don't necessarily need to replace them. My second thought on the library, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but do we need that sidewalk along the side, or could we just have proper drainage and gravel? The front, obviously we need, but those ones are fine. The side sidewalk just goes to the other door. I just think we should get a quote for lifting them to deflect away from the building and ceiling, and or removing and putting a cheaper and expensive item in that area.
John?
Just something to note, there's, I think it's 3 giant trees right beside the library. I believe that the roots are pushing the sidewalk up, so it's deflecting towards the building. If we were to replace the sidewalk, I think it would be a temporary solution, as the roots would continue to grow and probably push the new sidewalk as well. So I believe removing it would be a better option.
I also believe removing it is a good option. My second comment, that's all I have about the library. The other one, so the other motion was the provincial building to pay for half the cost of replacing those sidewalks there due to the damage that was caused by the contractor that they hired to take care of the sidewalks. That was an outstanding motion from what year? 22 or 22 or something. Is there any way, I don't know the answer to this, that's why I'm asking, that you don't pay taxes, but what if you do frontage? Do they have to pay frontage on a building that doesn't pay taxes? So if we could do like a cost share frontage, is that something that a building that doesn't pay taxes can do?
Crystal?
They don't necessarily not pay taxes. They do pay a grant in lieu. It's 50%, it was gonna be 75% coming up here. And yes, local improvements have to get paid if a new sidewalk was constructed.
No.
So then my suggestion is remove the library sidewalk and put gravel or nothing. And my second suggestion is to come back to council with a local improvement tax for that section.
Another suggestion was for could we put, is there a way to just make it nice again without removing the whole cement? Cause I think
There is not.
sometimes that's a success with stuff, but.
Yeah.
Evelyn?
Hi, Amy.
So thank you, because I really would like these 2 projects to move ahead, because we've been I really would like to see this, that it gets done under our watch. So are we gonna make separate motions then? Because I do actually really like you said the sidewalk isn't even necessary. So is that, let's just expedite this by removing the sidewalk, putting gravel there. That will prevent the issues that the building is having. So I would support that motion if you want to make it.
Okay, we can do them separately.
Having more discussion on it. My motion would be to properly landscape it. So we would be talking about removing sidewalks and putting clay and sloping. But it is something that is doable by our public works and not needing it would cut the budget, I guess is what I'm saying, for sure.
So to add to that, I agree with what's being said. Do we need to go back to the county and ask for any cost share or anything
No.
in partnership?
We did, and they said no. The lease does state that we have to take care of the building. And we only pay them $1, and I don't think that they're going to help us. But we do have to ask for permission to remove. I'm okay, I'd love to ask them for money, but I think we already did, and they said no.
For the sidewalk,
Yeah,
not for the landscaping.
John,
yeah, we could.
We are responsible for the entire property, not just the building, it's the entire
Yeah.
lot.
no, Mel,
Okay, I will make a motion for administration to reach out to the county to approve the removal of the sidewalk and replace it with a landscaped sloped area to prevent water leaking into the basement again. I think we have to, the reason I made that motion is just because I think we do have to ask them to make changes to their, we do lease it. But we want
To ask them to supply the gravel.
Let's go take a couple shovels, it's right there.
Is that a friendly amendment? Or no?
We're responsible for it, I actually don't, my motion is just for that, I think we are responsible for it, so. And I don't know if anybody saw the damage that was created to the library basement, it was horrific. And now that it has all been renovated, I would just really hate for it to happen again, so.
Yeah.
all in favor? And none opposed, so carried. And then,
Can I just add a friendly amendment? Can we back up a little bit? Just to add to the end of that for. Once they have permission for Public Works to do the work. That wasn't very clear in there.
oh, you don't wanna make a second motion? I thought you were gonna make another
Just
motion.
go ahead and
to
make,
say that.
yeah, that's what I thought too, so
Okay.
go ahead, make a second motion.
Okay, my second motion will be for Public Works to perform the work of removing the sidewalks and re-landscaping and once approval from the county.
All in favor?
But where's the money coming from?
His budget.
All in favor?
Can a member of public ask for clarification? When you talk about landscaping, are you talking about removing those big beautiful trees?
We can't get, we can't have comments from the gallery without. Okay.
But it's not.
But it's not.
Okay.
You're married, well.
Sorry.
And then.
Oh,
we're-
the other
we're
one,
working.
yes. Second one about the,
Do you want me to continue?
yes,
I'd like to make a motion for administration to bring back local improvement tax to present to council at the next, I don't know if you can get it done by the next meeting. That tight? To a future meeting.
yeah.
Plan, thank you.
If I may. Just for clarification, that is something that's changed by the provincial government that recently, when it comes to that, so is that what you're talking about? Is that they're going to give it a grant? And is that
grants in lieu of taxes?
grants in lieu of
They
taxes?
don't pay taxes, but they give you a grant in lieu of their taxes. And they were.
So what we're talking about is a local improvement tax, which I like actually where we're heading with this, instead of taking it, like, we're now taking it out of the capital budget, we're gonna do it this way, but we can tax
A local
this-
improvement tax.
a local improvement tax, but we can put that toward this.
I'll have to do
grant?
some more research.
You're nodding as if you know this already, but I don't know how, like,
I don't
think that's, I'm not clear how this is working.
No.
Sorry, so that's why I made a motion for to bring back a plan of this local improvement tax for this area, because I don't know, that's why I asked, I had no idea, do they pay, but because they have this grant, will that go towards the 50%? So we'll see what the plan is, so my request is for her to bring back a local improvement plan to council for the next meeting.
Okay, so we have a friendly amendment, research and bring back a plan.
Yeah.
That's what, because I was. planning on it.
With the cost to for a new site.
Yeah, and thank you for that. So thank you, Councillor Copes, for bringing this up. So my concern is that on the RFD that admin has sent three emails on page 182. So what were we emailing them about?
Cost sharing.
Yeah, Dawn had sent email in 2024 and was told that they will not be providing half of the cost. So I was just following up to see if there was any changes with their decision.
Marianne, thank you. Thank you for that, Crystal. So, yeah, so we've been doing this for well, at least a year now. I'm wondering if the costs may have increased and what the new cost might be for the sidewalk replacement.
Bring it back. Yeah. All right, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. 7.7 shared services with the regional streets. Yeah. Right, go Marianne, is it?
I'm
Two.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the motion on the table that the town of Smoky Lake provide a notice of initiative to the Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee, the ICC, to initiate discussion on the existing regional street sweeper service and direct administration to prepare and deliver the motion as written notification in accordance with the shared service review process and sections 5.1, 6.1, and 7.2 of the Protocol for Regional Cooperation Bylaw, number 003-2020, requesting that the service be added to the next ICC meeting agenda to address operational and service-related concerns.
Any discussion, Evelyn?
So just for clarification, you're saying the next ICC meeting, we do have one scheduled. It's already, it's called ICC Fire, but we don't actually need to keep it specific to fire anymore because transitional solutions, all of that grant has been wrapped up. And then it does state here on page 200, was it like that CAOs have 20 days.
Yeah.
So
Crystal?
So once there's a motion to or a notice of initiative, it gets sent to each party, so each municipality. The CAOs shall meet within 20 days of receiving the written notice to discuss the shared service. And then from there, it will go to an ICC meeting, future.
So potentially we could really expedite this if the CAO, because it's within 20 days. But if the CAO is much earlier, we already have an ICC meeting on the books that we could then discuss this and get this taken, even potentially get it taken care of within the next 20 days. If we really were aggressive about it,
Yeah.
assertive about it. Okay.
Okay. All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And 7.8. Street sweeper attachment for skid steer. John?
So as requested at the last meeting, pricing for rental as well as contract services is provided in addition to the RFD, the original RFD.
Bill?
I am in favor of buying the attachment. For the skid steer. It does seem. You want me to stop and then let John talk?
Yeah,
Is it gonna change what I'm gonna say?
Just FYI that they have a demo sweeper that we can use before it comes in. The only thing is that it's 1 foot narrower and it doesn't have the gutter broom on. But it might be a good test to see if it would be a good application for this.
Evelyn?
So how would this impact our partners who are sharing the current street sweeper with us? Like, does this mean that we're gonna turn around and rent it to Vilna and Wasetna if they wanted to, or is it ours and then, like, because I mean, if we're gonna talk in the next 20 days, this could be deferred to the August meeting, because by the August meeting, we're gonna have an idea at the ICC meeting what's going on.
No.
Yeah, I was thinking about all those things, trying to wait, but we have a Heritage Day parade, we have a pumpkin fair. This is something, it's not $400,000, like it's a fairly inexpensive item that I think that we could use. Besides, like if we ended up doing another partnership or something fantastic came out of the ICC, which I'm not really sure what the feelings are there, but that I don't think it ties us to something forever. Like it's $13,000, and I think it is something like maybe it could sweep rocks off of boulevards, things like that. Just
That was a good one. Oh, I see what you
just
did there.
and you like that? So just a thought, like I think it is something that the town could use, not just to replace the street sweeper, but we would use it, I think. I think it's a good tool.
Marianne?
And thank you for that. I'm probably not going to support that motion. I think that it's an attachment that's gonna, unless the demo comes back with raving reviews, because the hopper size is smaller compared to what we do have with the street sweeper. So we're going to be unloading it quite a bit. And it doesn't use water, does it? How, does it? Okay. So then is there additional cost with putting it on a trailer to haul it, or how are you getting it to the skid steer?
So we would,
Yeah, go ahead.
we would connect it at the shop and then we would have our dump truck down the street or very close to there. Then we just dump from the bucket into the dump truck and then haul it to when it's full.
Marianne?
Thank you, John, for that. So on a guesstimate, how long with this setup would it take to clean the town streets?
Hard to say for sure, but I think it probably could get done within 2 weeks, I hope. To do all roads.
Well,
I think it's, like I said, there's a street sweeper and then there's an attachment. I don't think this attachment is going to do, I don't think it's gonna do as good a job as a street sweeper. However, it is on our time. Our public works people are already paid. We have a dump truck. It goes right into the bucket. You can dump it. They don't dump it over and hang out in piles over by the public works shop for a month. And then public works has to then remove that dirt and dispose of it. At least we can do it all in one go. But I do agree, Marianne. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's $13,000 versus like whatever $500,000 a street sweeper is. It's not going to be the same, but I think it's a good option. I think it's especially for like a quick tidy up for the parade route and things like that. Cleaning up after the parade, maybe, of course. But that's where I am. If you guys want to wait till after the ICC meeting, that's fine. My question then would be to John, is the county going to come in street sweep before the parade, and at what cost? Because if they're charging us $200 and some an hour, you may as well buy this attachment.
John?
Wanna go ahead?
I just actually wanted to address that, like, please, when you say charging us that amount of money, that actually is part of the issue that needs to come up to ICC, because we have an agreement in place that it's only supposed to be $100 an hour, so that is, so I
It's
don't
not
actually-
rectified, sorry, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right now, that's not rectified, so are they going to charge us, that's my question. Are they gonna be able to come and do it, and are they gonna charge us $200? Cause if they are, then why, like, we can have this.
Well, that's
I
when we actually point to the agreement in place that says that they cannot be doing that. And in fact, this is where there's a piece that's been missing from the original agreement when it was a joint municipalities from multiple councils ago. So that is going to be that's going to be part of the ICC, so. And then, go ahead, sorry, you were gonna.
I was just gonna say that, since the townwide sweeping was done so late, I can check to see if the parade even has to be done right now. Or if, maybe it's a little tidying up. It definitely won't take as long as it normally does.
Marianne?
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. And your recommendation to demo, and if you could maybe demo the attachment on August 5th after the parade and let us know from there. And I can get behind the motion, but right now I'm probably not going to support it until after the meeting. Thank you for all the material that you prepared.
We haven't made a motion.
I didn't make a motion. Sorry, I didn't make a motion. I just said that I was, I supported what John had stated, but.
Evelyn?
So I'll make the motion that town of Smoky Lake defer the street sweeper attachment for the 2024 Kubota skid steer until our August regular council meeting.
All in favor? Not opposed, so carried. All right. Yep,
He's just here now.
okay. So Chris, you have a delegation, just FYI, it was for 110. Sorry.
I read the email to say that I would be told when the company sees, so I hung back and then I started cutting my head.
Okay. You have, yeah.
I have a very small gripe. And that is that I was charged a penalty when I paid, from my point of view, on time. So basically, we've got a town bill and it says, every bill says the same thing. It says last date before penalty. And in this case, it said April 28th, 25. And so I have proof of, I paid online. And it says the payment date is April 29th, not April 28th, okay? But then you look in the bottom left-hand corner and it says time received April 29th at 12:47 a.m. ET, Eastern Time. Well, the bill was sent in Mountain Time. You subtract 2 hours from Eastern Time and you can see I paid on time. And so it's like, wow, what's going on? And I think the answer I got was that that the town goes by, or the practice here, the financial practice is to go by whatever time and date stamp the bank puts on it. But the bank is sitting there, or they're using their ET, their Eastern Time frame, to put their stamp on. So my case is that, look, if you want to use a different time zone, to put your limitation on, then you should say so in your bill. It should say last date before penalty Eastern Time. Okay? And if it does, well, I'll know, I'll pay 2 hours earlier. But if I'm reading as a person who's received a bill in Smoky Lake, Alberta, Mountain Time, last date before penalty, it's Mountain Time. So that's my beef. Did you want to see? I've got paperwork, but I don't know if you got that.
So,
Yeah.
thank you, Patrice.
Okay.
So your ask of council is to, waive the late charge or?
Yeah, waive the late charge and the interest that's been slapped on for not paying the late levy charge.
So a subsequent question is, where's on our, what is prepared for us? Do we know what that charge is?
The late charge is $8.31. And whatever interest to charge on $8.31.
Yeah, Evan?
So, hi, we didn't do introductions, so Evelyn Phillips, counselor. We usually go around the room and introduce ourselves. It says attached is in your. So, all right, the delegation request form, it says attached is an online banking receipt, and I don't have a copy of that.
Yeah.
So,
It's the bottom left-hand corner that tells you when the banking was actually received.
It's because it's a closed, that would consider a closed session. It's prior information.
Well, I'm waiving the privacy. Because I'm.
okay, I see, yeah, what it is in the, okay. Thank you.
And it's not just my case, I think that, you know, it's important enough for any taxpayer or utility bill payer in Smoky Lake to know that, you know, what time zone there you're. What past what date in what time zone penalty will. And if people are going to assume that it's the time zone that they live in and that the bill was rendered in, then don't charge the penalty if the bottom left-hand corner of the of the receipt that they would receive, that the town would receive, shows that it was paid on time in writing. That's what I'd like to see, my best wish for all of the ratepayers in Smoky Lake. Okay. I don't know if you want to add that to the motion. Yeah.
No.
It's quite wordy.
Thank you for your information, and we'll discuss it a little bit further.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Did we move right to moment one? You need a break? Okay, let's see. I'm good with that. 2:28, bathroom break.
Oh.
All right. We'll call the meeting back to order at 2:37. All right, 7.9. Smoky Lake Curling Rink Community Enhancement Facility Program update.
You wanna do 7.1 first?
Oh, yes. We should do
It's up to you.
7.1 first, sorry. Delegation, town request, Patrice Taylor, reverse utility penalty request. I don't know why that was so hard, but. Evelyn?
So I do have a question. It's so. It doesn't say Eastern time or like that she pointed out. Like,
We have her personal banking information in here that has to go into close to see it, to discuss.
no, but I'm asking about her point is that it's not public information that the system is based on Eastern time rather than
I believe it's the online bank that, like your bank, when
your
you
bank.
do
Okay.
online. Because
Right.
when we received it from our bank, it was on April 29th. So that's what we receive from our online banking.
Yeah, so it's not consistent with our bills, it's consistent, that's with each.
And this is our bank, we have to give them time to process it on their end to our bank.
Right. Mel?
It's $8, but I am not in favor. If you pay your bills at 11 o'clock at night and expect it to be on time at your bank, then if I do that with any of my bills, I get charged, but that's just, it is minimal, but
Marianne?
What is the town's interest rate?
Utility penalties is 3.5%, or on utility, 3.5%.
And I think we're opening it up for a lot of. Evelyn?
And that is the point, is that she did point out that on a technicality, if we don't have that published. Or because that is how, I mean, when I get a Zoom meeting, there's Zoom meetings that will tell me this is done on Eastern time rather than on Alberta time. And we guys sort of, that's a kind of a standard to actually just kind of add it, so that's why I'm asking. I actually don't, in a way, understand because I don't have the information in front of me, but she was saying that it should be posted so that she can. We now know because this could happen to us again in the future. That somebody pays it late on Mountain Time, but it doesn't get processed. Yeah, but it gets processed in Eastern Daylight Time, right?
But it could be like going to her bank, which could be a lot of different, like every bank might be different. And then that could be coming back to the town.
So that means that we need to make some sort of.
But it has nothing to do with
policy.
the bill though, like that, we can't control that, because we can't control every bank.
We're Mountain Standard Times. Alberta.
We could just say pay your bill before 10 AM. I'm kidding. I think you're risking, if you're paying your bill last minute, you're risking, it could happen even if everything isn't, like, even if you know. That, because it's the flags.
Even for my payroll for the EFTs, I do them, they recommend 3 business days, so the bank has enough time to receive the information. Distribute,
Right.
so.
No,
I don't know, like everybody's banking is different for sure. My bank, if I pay a bill online after 8 PM, it says if you're paying this bill after 8 PM, it will not be posted till the next day. But ours, my bank tells me that, so then I know, well, guess I missed that deadline, like if I was paying it last minute. But obviously, some people don't, because she didn't know that. Like her bank didn't warn her, obviously, that if you're posting it this late, it's not gonna get done on time.
Sure.
So other businesses and municipalities won't even accept it unless it's in your bank. Which for this case, we already go the extra mile by when any time during the 28th or due date. I look and see if they made it on the date and I still process it for that date. So for example, if she made it on the 28th, but we technically don't get that money in our bank until the 29th. But I can see that she made it on the 28th, so I don't give the penalty. For this case, I get from the bank saying that she made the payment on the 29th, even though we didn't get our money until the 30th. So as per our bylaw, she still gets the penalty. I also too, just want to mention too, I know she gave a snippet of her confirmation. I can't always rely on those. I have already 2 other people that sent me snippets saying that they've paid and we haven't even gotten those money. That money, not from this person, but from other people. So that's why I rely on what was given to me from the bank.
Right. I'm prepared to make the motion if no one wants to. That the town of Smoky Lake accept for information, notification by town resident Taylor regarding reversing utility bills. And there's no other discussion. All in favor? Any opposed? So that'll be carried. All right. 7.9, Smoky Lake primary community enhancement facility program update. Okay, so Mel,
I can make a motion that the town of Smoky Lake go into closed session in accordance with section 19 of Access to Information Act, disclosure harmful to business interests of a third party, to review the quote submitted with the application for the community facility enhancement program regarding the restoration of the curling rink basement.
all in favor? None opposed? Carried. Okay, I'll get a motion on a vote. All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
None opposed, so carried, and we'll start with the first motion. Mel,
Make a motion to accept for information the quote in closed session.
all in favor? None opposed, so carried.
Move to change the August 11th regular council meeting from the 1 p.m. proposed start to the 10 a.m. scheduled start.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And Evelyn, do you want to make the last motion about scheduling the tours?
I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake book a tour for the new water reservoir and the curling rink building following the regular council meeting on August 11th.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. 7:10, update on municipal agreements. All right, so this was deferred last time.
So there's an update. The Devonian Park billboard has been completed. And the agreement will be sent to us signed. So that's considered completed.
Evelyn?
Clarification on the date, because that was a year ago so the date remains the same, that it's gonna lease will end next, I think it's early next year.
I'm not allowed to have to.
Because council made a motion about a certain date, so that's part of the agreement.
I believe the agreement would stay the same.
Okay, I just want to clarify, because unfortunately, this agreement, when we made that motion, that agreement wasn't signed. We're now a year in, so I just wanted to.
2 years into the
2 years.
No.
I'm actually a little confused. Sorry. I'm confused because I thought until it was completed, we were not signing an agreement. Because we didn't want to take ownership of it because it had not been completed.
And we made it
So-
motion at the time for a certain date.
Oh, okay,
Because there was first a motion that we approved it, and
right.
then I sent an email stating, can you please bring that back to the next meeting so that we can make a motion to add an end date on it. That when
Oh.
it comes to all of this, that agreements should have an end date. Everyone agreed, so we came back, so now there's an end date. So but the unfortunate thing is now it's been a year, so in a way, they've lost a year off that.
I gotcha.
That's
Thank you.
just why.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am moving on that one. I'm going to number is 5 for the daycare agreement. When what date was that completed?
What item are you guys on the agenda, please?
7.10.
So.
Crystal?
March 27, 2025.
Evelyn?
At the time, we were talking about following I'm not sure what I'm able to say because a lot of this discussion was done in closed session, but we made a certain agreement in closed session. But it was regarding about the county withdrew their sitting on the board for the daycare. And then we discussed it in closed session because it was considered, so. No?
Yeah, I think, now that our agreements are in place, we should make a motion to add to our next meeting discussion for representation on the Smoky Lake Pumpkin Patch Care Board.
Okay.
I can make that motion. I just said out loud.
Okay. All in favor? No, votes are carried. Okay. Well,
And if there's no other discussion, I'd like to make the motion to the town of Smoky Lake, except for information, the update provided by administration regarding the municipal agreements to include the Lion Dog Park, Devonian billboards, Esso garbage. Garbage cans, Aspen View, land transfer, Aspen View daycare, daycare and gymnasium, and Smoky Lake Ag Society agreements in reference to motion number 415-2025. And before you call the question, I would like to have one more topic for discussion. Okay, so I still have an issue with the garbage cans at Esso, and I still have an issue paying somebody overtime to empty them. So I would like some discussion on it. I think we should send a letter saying, if you aren't able to empty them, then they're the town's garbage cans, so we will locate them where we would like to locate them.
Administration did speak to the owner last year, and they do not have the capacity to empty the garbages due to staffing.
Because they don't have garbage cans?
No, just due to their staffing.
I know, but my point is I'm sure they have garbage cans that they empty, that somebody empties. But I don't think it's fair to the taxpayers to pay somebody overtime because the garbages are flooding over and blowing garbage all over our community. And that the garbage cans that are used by that facility and by their patrons, that they couldn't contribute to empty them, whether we provide the garbage bags and make to come to an agreement somehow. I'm just saying there is staff there, so for them to say there's no staff, I don't understand, because there's somebody there that they have garbage cans that somebody empties.
can we just send a letter stating that we will move the garbage cans because there isn't enough to where we can?
If I may, for clarification, you just said that when I'm looking at this, the conversation took place quite a while ago, correct? We're not talking about a recent conversation. And I remember that conversation, which is why I'm really surprised to see it saying considered completed, because I considered it in progress still, because at the time, the business owner said, really bad time for you to be talking to me about this. Because of what, it wasn't an absolute no, it was,
I have more information that I'd have to discuss in camera.
okay.
Yes.
Can I make a motion to defer friendly amendment? I'm gonna remove Esso garbage cans from my last motion to accept for information. So we can call that question and then
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Carly, you got what we were saying?
I removed it from that.
Okay.
I'd like to make one more motion that administration reach out to the owners of the Esso for discussion again regarding the garbage cans to see if we can come to some, like, I'm not saying not compensate them, you guys. I'm just saying, come to an agreement. Hank, do not look at me, do not open your mouth,
I will.
and do not open your mouth. And then, and please bring it to the next meeting.
Okay. Hey, we can't talk about that.
Yeah.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Okay, 7.11.
Yeah.
Smoky Lake Pumpkin Way Off and Fair.
So I can speak to this.
Crystal?
We did actually bring back the cost in kind in 2023. But moving forward for 2025, they are having a meeting on July 22nd to kind of organize what's gonna happen this year. I do know there's no Sunday fun day this year, so I was gonna wait and see what the plan is for that and just to see how much help they'll need from the town, and then I can report.
More accurately, okay. Marianne?
Yeah, and thank you, Crystal, for preparing that. I'd like to move at this time that the town of Smoky Lake defer the Smoky Lake Pumpkin Growers Association sponsorship request and administration to bring back totals for the 2023 and 2024 completed in-kind work to the August 11th, 2025 regular council meeting for discussion and to include a projected 2025 in-kind work total.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. And then to 8.1, 2025 public auction. Evelyn?
I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake proceed with the 2025 public auction for the following listed property held on Monday, to be held on Monday, October 6, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Smoky Lake Town Council Chambers located at 56 Wheatland Avenue, Smoky Lake, Alberta. Roll number 8000000. Did I get that? Are you guys counting for me? Did I get them all?
One
Or do I-
more,
I'm gonna
you're
throw in an
missing
extra.
one.
Thank you, thank you, Mayor Churchin. 09-plan 378 HW Block B, Lot 5. Further to that, Town of Smoky Lake approved the presented terms and conditions of sale for the 2025 public auction and approved all tax recovery costs to be added to the relevant roll as pursuant to 553(1)(f) of the MGA.
Any discussion? Marianne?
So is this role or property vacant or occupied?
Crystal?
Vacant. Thank you.
Evelyn?
Is this a property that was discussed earlier today? Thank you. Okay, thank you for that confirmation. And I actually have a follow-up question, and that is, are we does our agreement with tax service force us to hire an auctioneer to come in for that? Or is that, can we decline that service? Because I remember seeing the bill for that after the fact when we had two properties, which I agreed with at the time, considering that that was a tough one. We had people who lived in those properties in the room, which is why it was best to have an auctioneer come in and do it. But for something like this, I would prefer not to that expense.
The CAO can be the auctioneer, but that one was a tricky one, so we.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, that's what I just wanted to verify.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. So 8.2, July 2nd, 2025, special council meeting CAO recruitment. So I'd like to make that motion. That the town of Smoky Lake approves a special meeting for CAO recruitment held on July 2nd, 2025 in council chambers as a council approved event. So I went ahead and made a different motion. I just feel that we put in a lot of work in the last few days. And the small compensation was appropriate. I'm not sure how everyone else feels about it, but that was what my change was for, or why I made the change. And it's a less than 1 hour meeting as well. Any discussion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that'll be carried. 8.3 Heritage Day Parade Street Closure Request. Mel?
I'd like to make the motion that the town of Smoky Lake approve to temporarily close the roads of the parade route on Saturday, August 2nd, 2025 from 10:45 a.m. till 12 o'clock p.m., including 54th Ave, 46th Street, 55th Avenue, West Railway Drive, 52nd Avenue, McDougall Drive, and Whiter Street for the purpose of the Smoky Lake Heritage Day Parade.
All in favor?
No, but just-
Oh, sorry, I was waiting for, but not long. Go ahead, Marianne.
discussion. So in this agenda package, we have received about 3 requests for street closures. We also have a street closure policy where there's a Schedule A and it's filled out. And it usually indicates 30 days notice. So this, yes, it's from the town, and thank you, Carly, for preparing this. Last year we did it in May. I'm just not sure why we're not following our policy. And if anyone wants to speak on that.
Mel?
Sorry, what, 30 days you mean? So it got
Yeah.
missed, obviously, it got missed, right?
And the next 2
Yeah.
are quite in advance, so.
Yeah. I'm sure there's nothing we can do about it now. Clearly got missed by administration.
All in favor? None opposed or carried. 8.4, community standards bylaw. Oh, right.
I can start.
Marianne.
No.
Mel and.
No.
No.
So the community standards bylaw has turned out to be too long of a time period in order to have safer grass cutting. It's too long of a process. By the time you deal with the process, the places are now huge. The grass is up to people's waists. It looks very bad. Mice, rodents, all the different weeds, disease, it spreads to neighboring communities or neighboring lots, sorry. Yeah, there's been numerous complaints. And I just think that we should, I was proposing changing the height and changing the time to 10 and 10. That's what I was thinking.
Evelyn?
In response to your 10 centimeter suggestion, I did a review of 10 different communities of their standards. And only one of them, of the ones that I looked at, had it at 10 centimeters. 2 of them had it at 20 centimeters, so what we did, but the rest of them, it was all 15 centimeters.
And
So-
get on board.
Okay, so again, that's just the 10 that I chose at random, that popped up when I did community standards, so. Again, we can do what we want, we could set it at 5 centimeters if we wanted to, but I'm just letting you know that of these 10 municipalities, 2 at 20, 1 at 10, the rest at 15.
Marianne, did you have your hand up for me?
No,
Okay.
but I can get on board with that. Plus 15 centimeters is equivalent to 6 inches.
Okay, so that takes care of one.
Okay, Crystal?
So once the amendments are approved by council, then a new bylaw will be coming back. First, second and third readings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it Mel or Marianne?
Actually, anything else? Yeah, I'd like to move that the Town of Smoky Lake Administration amend the Community Standards Bylaw, Section 6. Property maintenance and buildings, subsection 6.3 E, number 2, grass in excess of 15 centimeters in length, or the presence of weeds that is in the definition of the nuisance or unsightly condition contained in this bylaw, and further that administration issue notice to the property owner, and if the conditions are not addressed within 10 days, proceed with remedial action to rectify and unsightly conditions at the owner's expense.
All in favor?
Sorry, am I?
Oh, keep going.
Oh, do the problem.
Yeah, and section 22 appeal process, subsection 22.1. A person who received a written order under this bylaw may request council to review the board by delivering a written request on a completed form attached to their written notice to the CAO within 7 days of the date the order is received. The order shall be deemed received within 5 business days of the meeting.
All in favor? And opposed, so carried. All right. 8.5 Smoky Lake Agricultural Facility invoice. Mel?
I just have some more information because I was confused about this, even though I've sent it in. It was just sent to me asking to get sent to council, so I sent it forward, and then I started looking into it a little bit more, and so did the Egg Society. So a couple things, the lines were not blown out. I'll let John defend himself shortly. However, there is a furnace in that building. And I do not know why, and we have some bigger things to talk about. So the Egg Society is aware now and will be creating a checklist of when that furnace is checked to make sure that it is on. Because it has always been on all winter, it's always ran. But I did call the plumber also, and when he got there, the furnace was off. And not just turned down, it was off. So Egg Society doesn't know who shut it off, but it's off. So it is they acknowledge like we should have been checking it. Just too many people not knowing who's doing what. So we're gonna clean that up, and they have acknowledged that like maybe the town should not pay this bill because they should have been checking it in the winter time. Now they know that. Don't know why it was off. My question I still have questions though, because we have some responsibility in this. The town has blown out the lines. The lines in the women's bathroom under the sink would not have froze if they were blown out. There's no way. If they were blown out properly, I can get on board with the heater and the hot water on demand or whatever we have there. I can get on board with that freezing because the furnace went out. But a line in the women's bathroom, if it was blown out, I can't figure out why that would freeze. So I just needed a little clarity here.
We blew up the underground lines up to the building. We didn't blow out anything inside the building. As far as I knew, we weren't responsible for taking that building. There's nothing saying that we were. That's Egg Society property, so.
Yeah, sorry. Well, okay, I don't want to get crappy, but I'm gonna get crappy. So we need to communicate better. I'm not saying you're responsible. I'm not saying the town, it's not written in blood that we're responsible, but it is a building in our community. And if we're agreeing to, I think we just need a little bit better communication. I'm not blaming Public Works, but I am a little bit. Because all this is a $5,000 bill. They just needed some communication on both parts. I'm not saying on one or whether the other. So I am a little frustrated. I don't want it to happen again. It's never happened in the past, but I don't want it to happen again. I don't know how this furnace got turned off. I don't know what you guys normally do. I'm not, that's why I'm saying I can't really blame who or what.
If the furnace wouldn't have been turned off, would the sinks frozen? They shouldn't have froze, right?
No, it
So
shouldn't have. But
it's-
who turned off the furnace?
No, I know, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
So, long story short, we just needed better communication for sure. Anyways, exciting when I talked to them, they are retracting their request for payment.
Okay.
After future investigation on the furnace. So this is, I just want better communication. Like, we should work together. It shouldn't be like, well, that's not mine. That's not mine. It's not mine. Like, let's just work together, make sure that everything in the future works together. So you're right, it's not your responsibility. It is the Egg Society's responsibility, and they're acknowledging that, but it'll help out. We still like be a team here. John?
Should we amend the agreement with the Ag Complex?
Yes, that would.
What would you like to see added to that?
You know what? I actually am going to make a motion to have, sorry, a couple things. Why don't you bring that back, John? Why don't you bring back what you guys are comfortable to add into that agreement? And so that's very clear, so that we're not gonna have that communication. So why don't you bring it back? I'm okay with that. I'm not exactly in the know with what exactly you do, so you go ahead. bring it back as a recommendation. So if council is okay with that, I thought I would suggest that we bring back that lease or the agreement again, just to have, because they do shut off the water every year to the RV park and blow up the lines, and then it'll be very clear. And my second question, totally different topic, was we talked about moving that water meter.
Adding the service to the building.
I just can't remember, I can't recall them.
This, the water is fed through the above ground meter that's located east of the, or west of the property. They had some interest in keeping the water on during the winter time in that building. And person was contacted for quotes, they haven't provided one as of yet, so. It would be fairly expensive. You'd have to basically install a new service line off of the, you can tee off of the service to the main service to the complex.
Okay.
So basically installing a new line from the tees off there, the service line to the complex and not off the campground lines. Because the campground lines have to be shut for the winter time.
Yeah.
Okay, Mel?
So what you're saying is it's not as easy as just taking the meter and putting it in the shaft?
It
No,
would be digging.
Okay.
up and
putting a new service line.
Potentially directional drill would probably be the best option there.
Mel?
I can take that information back to the Egg Society. I think they're under the impression that you could just move that meter to the heated shack. So I will, or the heated bathrooms. So I'll take that information back, that it would be a significant.
Because that service to that washroom building is teed with the lines that run through the campground. So that's basically the reason why it would have to be
There's be addressed.
installed in service.
Okay, so motion will be to bring back agreement. But consider. Do you want me to read what I've written? Yeah.
The town of Smoky Lake Public Works bring back a list of jobs that Public Works are capable of doing for the Egg Society to amend the lease agreement to a future regular council meeting.
No.
I think a little bit more specific, instead of Public Works bringing back jobs, Public Works bringing back the addition of shutting the water off, blowing up the line, like the maintenance for the RV park, the seasonal maintenance.
All right, all in favor if the discussion is passed, or is there any more discussion? All in favor? None opposed, so carried.
We just need a motion to accept for information.
Okay,
To
right.
take no action on this.
Evelyn?
What is the wording that is used? Because there's one that once you say it, it doesn't come back for at least 3 months, but then there's the one, and I don't want to do that. So, can you please clarify which wording we use?
This is specific to take no action regarding this specific invoice, so I think
Okay.
that's good, but file for
Okay, I
information.
just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to, thanks. So I'll go ahead and move that. Motion that Town of Smoky Lake take no action regarding the invoice received on behalf of the Egg Society for work to the RV park washroom building in the amount of $4,788.06.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Okay. 8.6, request for temporary road closure, Flourish Fest, Cultural Festival. Evelyn?
I'll make the motion that the Town of Smoky Lake approve the temporary road closure of Willow Creek Street from the intersection of Wheatland Avenue to the intersection of West Railway Drive on Friday, August 30th, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. to support the delivery of Flourish Fest Cultural Festival.
Rochelle?
I apologize. I must have had a typo because it's Saturday, not Friday. So for recommendation, I apologize. So folks.
Friendly.
So I will accept that.
Because I was like, as soon as you said it, so I do apologize.
Okay, August 30th is the correct date. It's not Friday, it's Saturday. Got it. So I will accept the friendly amendment to change this to Saturday, August 30th, 2025.
All right, all in favor? Unopposed, carried. Election worker remuneration, 8.7. Marianne?
I'd like to move that the town of Smoky Lake approve remuneration in the total amount of $300 per day for the position of general election workers for the purpose of the 2025 general municipal election.
All right. All in favor?
Oh, we have a discussion, she changed the amount.
I'm sorry. What was the amount? I didn't, it was 250, and what did you change it to?
If I may, so I did some research, probably not as extensive as what Councillor Copes did for another matter, but on an hourly rate, it works out to be a range of $20 to $26, and that was 4 years ago. It was at $250. I think that because of the people that work at the elections, they work hard. It's a 12-hour day, the day of the election, and I think they're worthy of that amount, which based on a 12-hour day, it's $26, comes in at $312, so it's a little bit under, and that's my rationale. You can vote with me or against me.
I zoned out from the amount. I was thinking you were doing 250, so what did you put it up as?
I put it to 300.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was. I'm already there. Any other discussion? Evan?
I was actually hoping that we would defer this because I wanted the returning officer to have a chance to take a look at this and to figure it out and then come to us potentially with having done research and coming potentially back and saying 300 or whatever else. So that's why I was just surprised to see it before us because I'd like the returning officer to have an opportunity to revisit this first.
No?
I'm comfortable with Mary Ann's research.
Yeah. I'd like to move forward with it. Okay. Well, there's a motion on the table, so I'll just call the question. All in favor? Any opposed?
Should I have asked if we have the money in the budget or? Is now it's
Too late.
Gotta find it. 10.1. Mayor, councillor, and committee reports.
I'd like to add something to mine, please.
Yep.
So, I had the opportunity to work with the Heritage Board and create some of the graphics for the nature walk that just took place on Saturday. So we did the poster and the brochure and the town printed it. So thank you to the town. We had a good turnout considering it was the first event and the chair had a botanist, if that's the right name, to come up from Edmonton. They did some explaining. So there were about 4 people that came up from Edmonton and combined with another 15 participants. The only problem is, so there will be a motion coming out of this. The county, so the Heritage Board made and ordered the signs, the county installed them. And when it came time for a certain individual to install the porta potty for the day, or not install, set up the porta potty for the day, and they were told just follow the signs went missing. So sadly, they were installed and now they will have to be replaced. And I don't think we can keep affording to do this. So my recommendation to council and admin is maybe to look at in the budget if we would have at a budget meeting coming up, money for a trail cam or something to that effect, some sort of surveillance. Because it was reported to the RCMP, so they're having an investigation and sadly there are some people opposed to the trail. So thus, so I will say no more, but that is supplement to my written report and I'm just the messenger. So
Mel,
I saw that in the Mountie minutes. Also, a friend of mine was looking for the trail and I said, there's signs, and he called me and said, no, there's not. So, yeah, I will support your motion, have a camera or some sort. For sure, for sure. I also have
to a
some
budget meeting. Mel, like, did you want to?
No, I just had, I just wanted to do a quick verbal update. Went to the Lamont Parade on Sunday.
Did you win?
I don't know. Did you get it? Did you get a plaque?
Saturday.
Saturday morning, yeah. No, it was good. It was really nice. I do have to say, I really enjoyed the way they set up for the parade, and I think we should copy them because it was very smooth. I enjoyed that, and I wanted to thank Public Works for quickly whipping up some pumpkins to add to the truck. It was lovely. So that's the only thing I have had.
Marianne? It's your motion. Sorry, Ellen. Sorry.
Actually, I need to have a correction to make to my, I do. I'm correcting myself here because the town of Elk Point is not the managing partner for that ACP grant under my Evergreen, and I have no idea what I was smoking at the time when that was done. But it is actually the town of St. Paul who is the managing partner. Town of Elk Point has nothing to do with our waste. So I looked at that and thought that I have no idea what world that happened in, but it did. And then also I just wanted to point out it was an interesting discussion that we had at the Summer Municipal Leaders Caucus. And I'm reminded of it today, and that is how some contractors feel that as soon as you see the town is going to pay for something, and it actually was a discussion point that they charge a certain rate to certain places, let's say individuals or volunteer groups or societies. But then when it comes to municipalities, they think that the town has a heck of a lot more money. So I was just reminded about that because we had a very good table discussion about that as well. Especially because it was Mayor Thorpe, and Mayor Thorpe, of course, is very similar to Smoky Lake. So that's all I wanted to point out for my report.
Where are you? Or is it Evans to make the?
I will go ahead and do that.
Oh, yeah, you can make those two actually. One I missed.
Okay, so I'll make the motion that town of Smoky Lake, except for information, the counselor and committee report items A to B as follows. Deputy Mayor Prosecutor Zaluski, June, July 2025 report. B, Counselor Cobes, June, July 2025 report.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right, did you have
Yeah, I'd like to make that motion.
okay, 11.1? Oh, the new, yes.
Yeah. I'd like to move that the town of Smoky Lake discuss consideration to purchasing surveillance equipment or trail cams to be brought forward for the Lovers Lane Nature and Walking Trail to be brought forward at the next budget meeting.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Okay, 11.1, tax cessation for new development. Evelyn?
So I'll go ahead and make a motion one. I'm just a little confused with the numbers that was provided because it says if council were going to move forward, so this is on page 319. So the $600 amount, is that what we would have if we continue, because it says if we proceed with motion 186, 2025, which is the one we made.
Yeah. So
But we're gonna rescind it, make a new one, because we're gonna adjust the years. So then what is the amount? That is the concession.
We won't know till the assessments are done.
Yeah, but, okay, so we're assuming it's more than 600.
Oh, it'll definitely be more.
can I, before you make a motion?
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I spoke? So, the discussion when this happened was exactly this. So I'm comfortable with the way it is. because that is why we extended it an extra year and changed the percentages. So this is now a new significant request that will affect our budget. So, at the time, this is part of the reason why I voted the way I voted back then, was because it was for 4 years, extending the percentages. And yeah, it is significant if we change the date on this. You're changing it. This year, we knew it was only going to be an unserviced or just a service lot. And now you're talking about giving 75% tax concession to a significantly different number and extending it over 4 years at a graduated percentage. So I was under the impression that, like, I knew what I voted for and this is what I had voted for. So this changes the budget a lot. That's all I'm saying is that whether they realized what we had given them or not, obviously not. But this is, it wasn't news to me what I voted on.
Evan? Respectfully, I'm going to take the opposite view of what you just did, because in my opinion, but that is actually the whole point of this, is that you're giving them, because of the investment that they have put into building a new building in that spot, that you are giving them that 75% in the first year, because that actually is the incentive. I was actually going to make a motion right after this one, or when we're done with this, that we actually bring this back so that it's in like, that we already have it on, like, taxes. I think it has to be a bylaw, maybe not a policy, but a lot of communities are actually already have this in place. So instead of each individual business coming to us and asking for this kind of break, we should already have this as a incentive to attract business, so that anybody who comes is interested in doing it, they already see this, that this is the case. So I actually am comfortable giving, that's the whole point of giving them a 75% when it's at their highest, because it's a new business and you want to help them get their feet off the ground. And that is actually why we do it that way. And I'm ecstatic about a brand new building being built in our business area. So I want to help them out as much as possible.
No.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm pumped, and I agree. I think that in the future, that maybe as an incentive in our community, we could put something like that out there for sure. It doesn't mean and I'm okay with that. It's just, when we compared it to what we did to other businesses in the past, we were trying to be helpful, and like 50% off next year is still a significant amount. I'm not totally opposed to this. I'm just saying you are setting a pretty high precedent that has never, like, this one doesn't have it in here, because the other example was,
There was 2 examples.
yeah, in the
Gopher and.
yeah, what was Perry's?
So Perry's was 3 years, 75, 50, and 25. And it wasn't until this building was completed.
So it was,
So it was, yeah.
so we added a 4th year.
You added a 4th year for this one, yes. But I think because she asked for 5 years, so I think that's maybe why you did a 4th year. I don't know for sure.
She just asked for 3 and we just
Oh, okay.
graciously.
I thought in the previous letter she had.
No,
So,
why don't we throw the 10% then, we make it,
yeah,
but into the new year.
starting with the new,
So it's consistent with everything else.
Yeah, but that seems.
Well, no, it's a benefit.
oh, can I?
Well,
Yeah, for sure, 75% off will give them a huge boost next year. Yeah,
The benefit.
the benefit will be higher than taking 10% off in the 4th year,
Yeah.
significantly higher.
Evan?
That is actually the, I do remember that conversation. It's usually 75%. And I came up with, in that meeting, I said 100%.
Oh.
Remember? In
Mhm.
year 1, 50%, and then 75 and so on. And then it was Deputy Mayor Prosecute Ruski, who then suggested actually do it this way. It benefit, yeah, and she made the argument and I agreed to that argument, which is how we came to that. And I do remember that. So I am actually comfortable with what we recommended here, that we rescind it and that we change it, because I think it's not, it doesn't give just one business a chance, it gives two businesses, because as they're renting the space to another business. And if this is the, you know, they're probably gonna base their rental income, that's how you usually figure it out, is on your property taxes as well.
Well, I think it's done, and I think the request, realizing it, that there was an opportunity for savings next year, I think we owe it to the new business or the business owner of the new property to keep the 10% on the table, and just as the recommendations prepared for us, to motion 1 and motion 2.
Mel?
I think it's my motion. So I'll make motion. The town of Smoky Lake rescind the following motion from the February 24th, 2025 regular council meeting. Motion 186-2025, town of Smoky Lake approve a municipal tax concession for said business, Naturally North Bank, located at 44 Whiter Street in Smoky Lake, to allow a 4-year municipal tax concession with the understanding that the concession will be null and void if the premises is sold, commencing the year 2025 as follows. And I'm not gonna read all that. And then, as requested from the letter requests for tax concession for new development received from Ellie Feniak and Cindy Wendroff, owners of Naturally North Bank, received February 7th, 2025.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Mary Ann, motion 2.
The town of Smoky Lake approved a municipal tax concession for said business, Naturally North Bank, located at 44 White Street in Smoky Lake, to allow a 4-year municipal tax concession with the understanding that the concession will be null and void, and if premises is sold, commencing in the year 2026 as follows. Year 1, 2026, 75% exempt. Year 2, 2027, 50% tax exempt, municipal portion only. Year 3, 2028, 25% tax exempt, municipal portion only. Year 4, 2029, 10% tax exempt, municipal portion only. As requested from the letter granted, tax concession from Naturally North Bank received from Emily Feniak and Cindy Wendroff, owners of the Naturally North Bank, received June 24th, 2025.
Right, all in favor? Unopposed, so carried. Evelyn?
I'd like to make the motion that town of Smoky Lake direct admin to create a new non-residential small business tax class for the purpose of attracting and encouraging business investment to the regular council meeting, and bring back to regular council meeting in September 2025.
Any discussion? All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right, 11.2, Smoky Lake Connects letter, safety concerns regarding gopher holes.
I can speak to that. So gopher holes are filled in periodically throughout the season. We did a bunch of it earlier in the spring. And just did it again recently. It seems like the gophers prefer to go in the holes that were dug up previously, because I think it's looser material, it's easier for them. So it'll be an ongoing issue and we're not gonna get every single hole, but we'll do our best to get the ones we can throughout the season.
Well,
Yeah, I spoke to the concerning people and they understand it's an ongoing issue. It was really just to bring attention to it. I assured them that you guys were already on it. They're comfortable with that.
Evan?
I admit that I usually only pay attention to the Gophers over here between the two railways, so was the spring, when that area was done, was the old school area done as well as like all of that done? Because,
Sorry, go ahead.
because I was just gonna say, the old school area actually isn't our property.
I believe, I'd have to double check this, but I think the school hired us to do some gopher control on their property. We didn't, I don't think we filled in holes there, but we did the gopher control there.
And the school staff filled in the holes after.
Mel, and the soccer field is down by King Park, the one that they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's in between the,
I was surprised by the above the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the Ken Park makes perfect sense to me, and I understand why we're receiving this letter, but I
Yeah.
was surprised by the old school property.
So thank you for that, John. Do we have any money left over in the budget to do some additional maintenance or?
Like filling in the holes.
Or
So
pest control?
pest control's ongoing, we still have budget in that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Evelyn, do you want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that Smoky Lake I'll make the motion that the town of Smoky Lake, except for information, the letter from Ashley Lozer, president of the Connect Club of Smoky Lake dated June 16th, 2025, regarding the safety concerns with gopher holes at the soccer field located at Kim Park in Smoky Lake.
All in favor? Opposed, so carried. Government, 11.3, Government of Alberta invitation to municipal engagements on transportation. Evelyn?
So I just want to clarify with Mayor Churchin, this has to do with Red Shot, correct? Like
Hot shot
or cold shot.
Cold shot.
So hot shot. I just wanted to follow up. Has there been some discussions with Mayor Copeland?
No, I was just thinking that we are not, but I'm remembering that at night. We haven't had anything. I'm assuming it's because it's summer. I'm not sure. But I could touch base with Mayor Copeland. But yes, I'm assuming this is connected. So maybe that's why he hasn't. Maybe this has come up.
So I also want to point out that later in here, it actually is for council approved. It actually says that they only want under next steps. Note that each municipality is limited to 2 participants. And available for the in-person sessions is limited. I do believe that this is a very important issue for our community, which is why I was an enthusiastic supporter of you meeting when you asked about that special group of NAGO kind of breaking off. So I do believe it's important for you to attend, but I don't want you to necessarily go by yourself. Like, is this something that you and Craig and other mayors in that corridor, like that are affected by cold shot might go together almost as a delegation to this? And then it does say a limit of 2 people per municipality. So I would like to, I would like to change the motion that we ask both the mayor and the deputy mayor to attend in person for this, but that's why I'm putting it out there. I'm being 2 people.
Yeah.
But that's who I believe should be attending and advocating on behalf of our community.
I could, I didn't check out in person because they were, but I definitely could do the virtual, like that's not an issue. Especially those times, but I'm not 100%, I didn't even check the other in-person one. Because option 1 in person, it's in.
well, I can make the motion. I also agree with Councillor Cope, so but because it is say 2, let's not make it a council approved event. Let's put I can say the mayor and deputy mayor. But I don't want to close it off in case one of you can't attend, so I think I'll just change it to say 2. Make a motion that the town of Smoky Lake deem participation of the Government of Alberta invitation to municipal engagements on transportation network companies regulations as a 2 councillor approved event in the reference to the email sent from Lynn Barty, Assistant Deputy Minister, Government of Alberta Traffic Safety Services on June 20th, 2025.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right, 11.4, Smoky Lake County Rural Farm Association sponsored. Evelyn?
I, I don't mind me going ahead and making the motion, but I just wanted to ask you. You're a volunteer member with the Rural Fund, right? So
Yeah.
do you want to speak to this or tell us a little bit about this first or,
I was not at this last
Okay.
meeting. And that's when they had, cause I was I was at work, so I was in contact when they were asking about dates and stuff, but I'm not 100% sure about just because.
so I'll make my,
Alright, I figured you guys were.
So I'm gonna go ahead and make the motion at this time and thank you for that. So it is a first time event. So again, we don't really have any data to pull from that it was successful last year or whatever the sort is. And kind of in keeping with true fashion with what we did with the Warspite Fair, we did half of what they asked for. They asked for 200, we gave 100. So at this time, they're asking for 500. I'm hoping that council will support me when I make the motion that will only be for 250. And with the rationale that we only have 4,500 left in the budget and we still haven't done the pumpkin request. So at this time, I'm gonna stop talking and move that the town of Smoky Lake provide sponsorship support to the Smoky Lake County Rural Crime Watch Association for their first annual Law and Wild Barbecue in the amount of $250 to be held on the September 9th, 2025 in conjunction with the Smoky Lake RCMP and Smoky Lake Fish and Wildlife offices in regards to the letter dated June 24th, 2025 from Penny Tichkowski, President of the Smoky Lake County Rural Crime Watch Association, to be funded from the 2025 operating budget titled Grants to Individuals and Organizations.
Question? Not all in favor? None opposed, so votes. 11.5, Smoky Lake County Rural Crime Watch Association Event Road Closure. Evelyn?
I'll make the motion that town of Smoky Lake approve the temporary road closure of Wild Rose Avenue from White Earth Street West to Railway Avenue on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025 from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the purpose of hosting the RCMP helicopter, if available, during the Rural Crime Watch Barbecue Law and Wild Barbecue event in regards to the email sent by Sergeant Anita Doctor, Detachment Commander, Smoky Lake RCMP Detachment, received July 9th, 2025.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. 11.6, Vilna and District Agricultural Society Boomtown Days sponsorship request. Mel? Oh, I thought you had, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna make a motion.
Oh.
Is it my turn?
Discussion.
Oh, okay, well, if you
No,
like,
you.
I'm gonna make a motion. Town of Smoky Lake provides sponsorship in the amount of $250 for the silver sponsorship package to Vilna and District Agricultural Society for the annual Boomtown Fair Days on August 15th to 16th, 2025, to be funded from the 2025 operating budget entitled Grants to Individuals, Organizations in the reference to the letter from Mary Fondra, Chair of the Vilna Boomtown Days Committee, received June 30th, 2025. Now discussion.
Now discussion.
I'm feeling very cheap for this agenda item and for the next one. And when I look at what we have left, I'm actually wondering if council would vote against that motion and then file this for information.
Well, you're gonna have to sway me. I gave you some reasons, and I feel that one of our employees that works in our office is an advocate of everything Vilna, so I'd like to support it with the 250, but you can sway me.
I don't think I have too much to sway with, except Councillor Cove's feeling cheap. And then Councillor Cove is gonna be talking about this for the next one as well too. And I guess it's, when I look at this, and I look at we really cut back on our budget as well too. So that's why I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable with how we really have cut ourselves to the phone, so that's why when I'm looking for, which is why actually I was very pleased when you cut the other one in half, because I was like, yes, I was thinking along the same lines, and I enthusiastically voted for your lowered amount, and this is one of the ones where I'm thinking we have faithfully always contributed to it. Maybe this is the year that we can say, not this year, but please come back with us with future requests. I'm not sure what to say.
Well, you swayed me a little bit. You did. I would wonder though, instead of giving nothing, if we could go to the bronze, which is $100. And the only reason and that's because from the last meeting when I had that awkward conversation of where do we draw the lines with taxpayers' money leaving our community? So those lines for me, I'd like to support our community events that are in our Smoky Lake. I do want to support Vilna, our neighbor, for sure. But where's the line that we draw, how much leaves the community? I think that because they're a close partner of ours, I would like to give them something, but due to our tight restraints, maybe you guys would accept a friendly amendment of the bronze package.
I'd like to see that rather than not. I can move it back now.
I've been swayed.
Okay, then my amendment to my motion would be the $100 for the bronze package.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. 11.7 Smoky Lake Connect Club sponsorship request. Evelyn?
So, I am a huge fan of Connect and what they do for our community, and they are very, very successful. So successful that at a STARS event, they can put one of the big prizes of a chef out there, and also that they put their name out there as sponsors for a lot of different events and groups where their logo appears right alongside ours, because that's how successful they are. We are very fortunate that we have two groups locally that between, well, in the Connect's case, it's how much they can raise and how they're a juggernaut. And then the other one is the Lions, where they do their casinos and fundraising, and then they're the ones that distribute. I don't ever see the Smoky Lake Lions coming to us for sponsorship. It's something that I've noticed that the Connects do, but the Lions don't. And again, I mean this respectfully, I'm glad that they do it, but I also think that I'm proud that they're such a big group and a juggernaut in our community. But I think it's gotten to the point now where they don't need to come to us for money. And instead, what I would like to do is always support them when it comes to what we do for the pumpkin growers. And that is work in kind, or what it is that they need to set up their events and so on, rather than giving money.
Well,
I'm actually gonna agree on this one as well. I think that we should, in the past, actually, I don't think they've asked for money. They've always asked for in-kind work, and I think that that's, they do a ton for our community, and the money does go back into our community, which I always like to support. This is the first time they have asked for funds, though, for this, I believe. I don't remember ever giving them funds. So
For this specific,
For this-
what you're referring to,
Yes.
correct?
for this specific event, yeah, I'm not even sure. So, I could get on board with a letter of support, and to be frank, I'm sure they're gonna ask Public Works to put up the fence anyways. It's just not in the letter. So, I think maybe if we could send back a letter, offering some assistance during work hours.
in 23, we gave them 600 for the curtains.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, see,
It's all combined, because
I'm losing it.
on page 241, Carly kindly put that no monetary sponsorship was request for in 2024.
Yeah, not in 24.
Mm,
23.
sorry.
Right, so 23 was consolidated.
Yes. That's.
Oh, yeah. It's all. So. Evelyn?
So I'm going to say that I'm gonna make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake file for information the monetary request from the Connect Club of Smoky Lake for their annual beer gardens and barbecue to be held on August 3rd, 2025 during the Smoky Lake Heritage Days weekend in reference to the letter sent by Michelle Wright, sponsorship committee member of the Connect Club of Smoky Lake, dated June 23rd, 2025.
No.
And just before we.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not, you don't mind, I'm not in favor, I'd like to give them something. Cause we have, and I feel it's kind of a way to get balls rolling, get things done. I know it seems like we're giving and then we're getting and kind of, but I think it's just helps with the progression of events in our community, but anyway, Mel. Or Mary, I meant to say Mary, right, okay.
And thank you for that. I agree with you somewhat. And I think I there has to be a better way to do this because I'm judging it by what is taking place in the town of Smoky Lake and what is not taking place within the town limits. So yes, and you're right, it's taxpayer dollars. So maybe perhaps a policy in the future of how we look at this. But I do tend to agree with Mayor Tunition. I think a smaller portion just to financially aid them. And again, they do good work. That doesn't take away from that. They are a nonprofit organization, so there's some criteria. So I probably would support the motion that's on the floor.
No,
I can support, Terry, I'm just curious, nobody's thrown out a number, hard for me to get on board when I don't know what you're talking about. What you saying? How much money? What are you talking?
I was gonna say 300.
I have it written down to 50.
I was gonna do half of what we did last time, because that's what we've been doing, so 300 is my number.
You have to call the question, unfortunately, but,
Okay,
hold on.
or do you want to amend it, please?
No, I'm gonna let it stand because I did that in good faith, thinking that the next motion that we were gonna make was to support them through, which is where I believe this 250 or your 300 amount is because it's gonna be our public works. And that's how we support them that way. So that's why I kind of guess I emphasize the word, not a monetary donation. So then we're not gonna give them actual dollars, but instead because you were talking about a letter to write the letter. So that's why I proceeded with this
Labor
motion.
in kind with the setup and the fence and everything.
Yeah, and that's what I went ahead and made this motion, believing that was gonna be the second motion. But, so no, I'll stand by the motion. If it gets defeated, it gets defeated.
All in favor? Any opposed?
I voted opposed
Yeah, so
slowly,
it's defeated. Okay, Mary,
slowly.
So I'm going to,
Leon,
do you want to make a motion?
Can we make a maybe? Well,
is there a maybe motion? Because that's the one I picked.
So no, so that one's been,
You know, make a maybe motion and we'll see if it's okay. So the town of Smoky approved to provide a monetary donation in the amount of $200 to the Connect Club and the Connect Club of Smoky Lake for their annual beer gardens and barbecue held on August 3rd during the Smoky Lake Heritage Days weekend to be funded from the 2025 operating budget entitled Grants to Individuals and Organizations in reference to the letter sent by Michelle Wright and sponsorship committee member of the Connect Club of Smoky Lake, dates June 23rd, 2025, and Public Works offer in kind work at the discretion of the interim CAO.
What? Mel.
But you were gonna go the other road, you went both roads.
Oh,
Went full on.
well, there's not that much work.
Okay.
Put up the fence, put up the barricades. Well, is there more work? Am I missing something, Sean or Crystal?
I don't think.
Go to the beer gardens.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Mel, yeah.
I just have one thing to say. It's more of a statement to administration or public works. If they are requesting, like, they can't expect you to just do it every year. So this letter said nothing about in-kind work. They need to put that in their letter if they are expecting it. Just a little reminder to them of that, because They have often come later and said, hey, can you do this? Well, it's after we've already made motion, so I just need all the information up front. But
It's in the next page on the email for the street closure.
for the barricades, but not the
Oh,
fence for the beer gardens.
Setting up the fence, yeah.
Okay, well then,
343.
that should all be in the motion then.
Yeah, okay, so, but that's the next page, that's the next.
I missed
section.
that, I'm sorry. Where are you?
So
The road closure, so to me though, I'm sorry, but this, the road closure is and
Okay.
that the in-kind work is a financial request, which should be with this.
So friendly amendment, I will withdraw the portion after the financial amount.
Perfect, because those two things, those are the same, you're asking for money. I don't care if it's in-kind work or whatever, this should not be on this with this.
You swayed me.
Okay,
Withdrawn.
thank you.
I'm a friendly amendment.
Actually, we can't, we already called the
I was gonna
question.
say, we already.
It's too late. I'm just saying in the future, that is a monetary ask.
Carly?
You can amend your motion. Just to have the list of in-kind and be brought back to a future.
No, it's just,
Let's just leave it for this time, but let's make it next time.
I,
just,
it's at the discretion of the CAO. Is that okay? So the
Yeah,
next page is the motion for the street closure, which doesn't identify the in-kind labor.
Evelyn?
But I heard music to my ears because we're policymakers, and Deputy Mayor Prosky Zarewski said we should have it on policy, and then I heard Councillor Morton turn to our interim CAO and say, this is what they should be doing and so on, and you're absolutely correct, because if you put that in a policy, then it's not up to our interim CAO to tell them that. Personally, when they write, it's all done form, it's standard form instead, and we need to get away from the letters and start filling in a form, which can be set in policy as, and then added as a schedule. Crystal?
Carly did put the contributions to nonprofit organizations and individuals policy in the first request that we received in the agenda. And it does say the CAO has the authority to approve in-kind donations up to a value of $250.
No.
yes, they do have the authority to, but if
And
they're
what
going
they
to
do, like-
ask for in-kind work, as a counselor, I want to know that when I'm approving money, because it does affect how much money you are giving to it. If you're doing a week's worth of work and as well as giving a donation, that affects it. I'm just saying I want all the information in one area.
It must
Not-
be reported to council, it says in there, so.
So yeah, just to have them all in one spot, guys, that's all I'm.
So the street closure, 11.8. Evelyn?
I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake approved to temporarily road closure, for temporarily. I'm not even sure what we're trying to get.
Temporary close.
Close the road.
To the approved, the temporary road closure request on 54 Avenue between the two entrances to the Smoky Lake Agricultural Complex sent on Sunday from, where are we going here? On Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, from 4:30 PM to 1:30 AM for the purpose of the Connect Club of Smoky Lake Beer Gardens and Barbecue event in regard to the letter or the email sent by Ashley Lozer, president of the Smoky Lake Connect Club, received on May 31st, 2025.
All in favor? And opposed? 11.9, Northern Lights RV Resort sponsorship request. Mel?
I'd like to make a motion of for information.
Evelyn?
For, we're gonna make, I'm not quite sure where it says here, the option is we're being asked for promotional items. But usually when groups come forward and ask you for promotional items, they get it, like I know, so I'm not quite sure. Is it because they're, like, I thought usually it was in our policy that you did automatically approve something like $100 for promotional item. So,
It just, it says we are seeking monetary donations for the 50-50 draw. and auctionable items. We're just giving you options.
Oh, so we can,
We didn't ask for promotional. Straight out.
oh, I see. Mel?
I could be okay with giving them some promotional items, though.
Was that kind of?
Yeah, I do actually want to give them something because they actively promote all the businesses here in town. So we see the resort, the Northern Lights Resort folks in town here often. So I don't want to, that's why.
I will withdraw my motion
Thank you.
and make a new motion to provide promotional items. Option 1, the town of Smoky Lake provide a promotional item for the silent auction in the amount of $100 in reference to leather from Northern Lights RV owner Richard Kimmett dated July 3rd, 2025.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed. And 11.10, 25th annual Alberta Care Conference. Marianne?
I'd like to move the town of Smoky Lake offer information and invitation from Association of Alberta Coordinated Action for Recycling Enterprises, Alberta Care, to attend their annual conference in West Lot, September 10th to 12th, 2025, received June 27th, 2025, via letter mail.
All right, and you said file for information, right?
Yeah,
You said-
the recommendation.
All in favor? None opposed, it's fired up. And now 12.1, that's your baby.
I'll let it.
Oh, that's it?
You want me to do this one?
Yeah.
I'll let you do it.
Give me all the long ones.
I know.
Is that what we did?
I was like,
Back to me? Okay, that town of Smoky Lake file for information, the correspondence items listed A to E as follows: RCMP police funding model resource allocations, RCMP police funding regarding detachments, letter from Minister Nathan Neudorf regarding direct sales of natural gas, Alberta municipalities preliminary recommendations to improve rules for recall of a municipal elected official, and Lovers Lane Trail brochure.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right. We'll take a break or go into closed session first.
Go in closed session.
Okay, Mel?
I would like to make a motion to go into closed session for land matter lot 37, the town of Smoky Lake, to discuss following matter, land matter lot 37 pursuant to Access to Information Act, Section 19, disclosure harmful to business interests of a third party at 4:25.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. I motion. I'll get a motion to come out of close.
I'll make that motion.
Evelyn? And Mel, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. Mel?
I'd like to make the motion that town of Smoky Lake proceed with the installation of a gravel alley access road on lot 37, block 12, plan number 7820208 to be funded through the HAF grant, and for administration to advertise and schedule a public hearings for discussion.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right, 11.2, closed session. I can get a motion. 14.2.
I was like, we're going backwards.
Evelyn?
I'll make the motion that town of Smoky Lake go into closed session to discuss the following matter: demolition agreement pursuant to the Access to Information Act, ATIA, Section 19, disclosure harmful to business interests of a third party at 4:45 p.m.
All in favor?
Thanks, Chris, please call me back again.
Yep, carried. And we will. Oh, can I get a motion?
Am I supposed to flag somebody down now?
Walking across the street.
We can keep this. Who wants to make?
I'll make a motion to come into closed session.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. And then, Mary Ann, do you want to make the motion?
I move that the town of Smoky Lake execute the agreement for the demolition of 44 I'm identifying the address.
13 Willow Creek Street.
Yeah, 13 Willow Creek Street.
Do you want me to describe?
Sure. And it's on lot 12. PT plan 13, lot 7, plan 803 CL. And as soon as possible.
All in favor? Opposed, so carried. And a motion to go into closed for 14.3. Evelyn,
I'll make that motion.
all right, that's a cross.
I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake go into closed session to discuss the following matter. 55 White Earth Street pursuant to the Access to Information Act, ATIA, Section 19, disclosure harmful to business interests of a third party at 4:52 PM.
All right, all in favor? None opposed, so carried, you're good.
Yeah,
On video, we'll get a motion to come out of closed session.
I'll make that motion.
All right, all in favor? None opposed, so carried, and Mel?
I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake proceed with the disposal of part of lot 1 and 2, block 4, plan 803 CL to Chad Clark in the amount of $130,000.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. All right, 14.4, motion to go into closed. For 2.5.
Oh, no, you're right, sorry.
Okay, interim CEO check-in.
I'll make that motion.
Evelyn?
I'll make the motion that Town of Smoky Lake go into closed session to discuss the following matter. Interim CAO check-in pursuant to the Access to Information Act, ATIA, Section 20, disclosure harmful to personal privacy at, sorry, 5:03 PM. Thank you.
All in favor?
She wants some.
What would you want, sorry, what would you like to
I
say?
was trying to get your attention.
Oh,
first.
sure.
Would you accept a friendly amendment, because I think that, why don't we do that at the end of all the other things and get through the business and then go to the check-in?
Sure. No,
Would
I
that
don't
be
mind.
clear?
Friendly amendment, I'll completely withdraw that motion. You want me to do?
14.5.
Can we table, no, can we just have a motion to table that till the end of the agenda?
No, she has to retract her motion.
But retract my motion.
Retracted. We didn't call the question, so it's okay.
Thank you.
So I'll retract it.
Should we do the 14.6 and 7? Oh.
And then Carly can go.
Yeah.
Okay. 14.6 is section 22. Same as one of these.
With section,
No, it's section 20.
Is it 20?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So it would be the same as what we just did.
so I am a little, okay, I won't get into it. You're telling me it's section 20?
Yeah, the same, yeah, this regarding.
So that Town of Smoky Lake go into closed session to discuss the following matter, personnel.
Yeah.
Section 20 is what you're telling me, disclosure harmful to personal privacy. At
5:04.
5:04 PM.
All in favor? None opposed. All right, I'll get a motion to come out of closed
I will
session.
make that motion.
All in favor? I know Mel's hands up. Just can't see it. All in favor carried. And then, we will get the motion to come out to just accept as.
Make a motion to accept the personnel update for information.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed, so carried. And then we will move into 14.4. Or sorry, 14.5 CAO, Evelyn.
Okay, so I'll make that motion that Town of Smoky Lake go into closed session to discuss the following matter. Interim CAO check-in pursuant to the Access to Information Act, ATIA, Section 20, disclosure harmful to personal privacy at 5:23 PM.
All right, all in favor? None opposed, so carried.
Sorry, Hank,
Oh,
we're going
go
back
ahead.
in, we did go.
All right, I get a motion to come out of close.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? None opposed and carried, and if we can just have someone accept.
I'd like to move to accept the verbal discussion in closed session with the CAO check-in.
All in favor? No opposed, so carried. All right, last but not least, 14.5 CAO recruitment. Mel?
I make motion, Council Blake, go into closed session to discuss the following matters, CAO recruitment pursuant to the Access Information Act, Section 19, disclosure harmful to business interests of the third party at 5:43.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried. Out of close.
I'll make that motion and come out of close.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried, and then a motion to accept verbal.
I'll make a motion to accept the verbal CAO recruitment update.
All in favor? None opposed, so carried, and we will call the meeting, adjourn the meeting at 5:54.
Good, cause it is